desk called Empowering Women in Business. Before I go into the detail, I request we stand up and have the national anthem. East Africa. We may take our seats. I'd like to welcome you once again for this great event. Would like to thank our hosts, the Uganda Securities Exchange, who have put this together. Would also like to thank the sponsors who have availed resources, not just financial, but time and content to make this happen. I would like to recognize, in no particular order, MTN, Uganda, Stanbic Bank, Cheaper Cash, and UN Women. Like I said, in no particular order. UN Women, thank you so much for ensuring this happens. I would like to invite our hosts, Uganda Securities Exchange, the CEO, Mr. Paul Bwisho, to give us his welcome remarks. Paul, you're most welcome.
Thank you, Damali. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
I'd like to warmly welcome you to today's breakfast event, Women Investment Breakfast, where we are going to discuss a few pertinent issues in regards to the role women play in the capital markets, but also in terms of investment. This year, specifically, the 6th edition of the World Investor Week, regulators, exchanges around the world in partnership with IASCO, that is the International Organization of Securities Commissions, hold a global campaign for investor education. And specifically, this role is to create awareness and also showcase the importance of investor education and protection. I'll go through the protocols and all protocols observed. We've got our regulator here represented by Miriam, the Director Legal. We'd like to welcome you, the head of UN Women, Paulina, and Kathy, our director, Jennifer from Unifright, but a member of our board of both the Commodities Exchange and the main board of the USC, and the head of URSB, Mercy. Well, I warmly welcome you and thank you for taking the time to join us today and honoring our invitation. This year, the World Investor Week is running from, well, started on 3rd October, Monday, and we've carried out a couple of events so far. Yesterday we had the CEO, CFO breakfast, where we had a discussion on sustainable finance and investor resilience. It was quite a rich topic, quite wide, quite broad. The discussion went on for quite some time, and it was quite enlightening. And I think the CEOs, the captains of industry that were around did pick up a lot from this and were quite happy when they left the room. Today, we have this specific discussion, and as USE and the capital markets, we generally promote the gender diversity discussion. Earlier this year, in partnership again with UN Women, we had the Ring the Bell for Gender Equality, and a lot was discussed during that particular event on how to empower women in the capital markets, but also ensure that women around the country, around the world, are able to take advantage of the opportunities in terms of investment, but also in terms of how to grow and address the conversation on investor education. So specifically, we'll close this week with the Ringing the Bell. That will be Friday. And this is really a symbolic gesture to ensure that we draw attention to financial literacy and create awareness around the World Investor Week. So exchanges and securities regulators on 6 continents are promoting investor education and also providing a variety of activities, including investor-focused communications and services, increasing awareness, as fully mentioned or previously mentioned. So I will go to the discussion on the themes. This year's themes revolve around investor resilience and sustainable finance, and they complement the previous discussion on previous editions, such as fraud, scams, and preventions. Yesterday, our regulator, the CEO, spoke about smart investors. That was Keith Kalyegira, and he highlighted the importance of an informed investor, but a smart investor, being able to take advantage of the opportunities within the market, but also working with credible investment advisors, but also, in addition, being able to take advantage of the opportunities. So one of the things that did come out of that discussion was that the opportunities within the market. Anyone who would like to invest, the capital markets, I think those of us who follow social media, from time to time we see comments about the returns. I think there was one recently with the CIPLA dividend that had a bit of a track that the person had earned 5,000 shillings. The bank took off 3,000 shillings, 3.5 for EFT, and then URA also came in, took 450 of withholding tax, and remained with just 1,500 shillings. But investment is about taking advantage of opportunities. I'll give an example. This year, when Umeme announced its dividend, the share price was at about 160 shillings. At the point at which the dividend was paid, the price had risen to 240 shillings, in addition to a 54 shilling dividend. So if you actually bought at 240, you were still able to get a rate of return of about 26%. But the price almost doubled within a period of about 3 weeks. So within the market, there are actually opportunities within which to take advantage of returns on investment. The recent government bond, 20-year bond, was issued at a coupon rate of about 18.5%. Those are opportunities within the capital markets. A coupon of 18.5%, there are not many businesses that will give you a net return of 18.5%. So the bond market provides those opportunities within the market, and our stockbrokers, and I'm sure we'll hear from Susan, Crested Capital, on the opportunities within the bond market through the exchange and the stockbrokers for investors to take advantage of these opportunities. If we look at some share prices, there was an NIC bonus issue earlier. The price did not split after the bonus, so the price remained. So with more shares, investors were able to get a better return. So the market actually provides a lot of opportunities for investment, but informed investments and taking advice is quite keen, but also being educated about the nitty-gritties, about of investing within the market. Specifically around women and the capital markets, there's a survey that was done by IFC, and it came up with a few discussion points and some facts that return on equity for companies with gender diverse boards generate a higher rate of return than those without. In addition, share prices of companies with gender diverse boards outperform those with no women in terms of share price performance during times of crisis and volatility. In addition, high-performing companies are almost 50% more likely than low-performing companies to report that men and women have an equal influence on strategy development. And in addition, investors in companies with stronger gender diversity strategies receive excess returns, returning a compound annual growth rate of 3 to 5%. So there are a lot of opportunities in companies taking the gender lens and ensuring that women participate in boards. Yesterday's discussion of ESG, environmental, social, and governance, highlighted that doing the right thing and working collectively for society does add value to organizations, but society generally. There's a gentleman called Alex Ross who commented on industries for the future and said, "There's no greater indicator of an innovative culture than the empowerment of women. Fully integrating and empowering women economically and politically is the most important step that a country or a company can take to strengthen its competitiveness. Innovation does not happen in closed environments." At the Uganda Securities Exchange, we've got over just under 30,000 investors. Of those, 25,000, about 600 are women, accounting for about 23.6% of women within the industry. I think it is not a very big number compared to our population and the people, but if you look at the ones that actually participate, this is a step in the right direction, and we'll continue carrying out this discussion with stockbrokers and listed companies to ensure we attract more women into this ecosystem. If you look at our traders within the market, I think I would say over 60% are women within the stockbrokers. If you look at the traders from Crested Capital, Diane Blair, SBG, the majority are actually women. So it shows you that women have been attracted into this industry, and continue to study CISI and CFA, and we see them being groomed to improve in terms of contributing. We have an array of panelists who will be sharing with us their thoughts on the discussion topic today, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank them for agreeing to honor us today with their time, but to also share their thoughts, and we look forward to hearing from them. I also take this opportunity to profoundly recognize the sponsors within the room: UN Women, Stanbic Uganda Holdings Limited, MTN Uganda, Chipa Technologies, DFCU Limited, Umeme Limited, and New Vision Group. Without them, we would not probably have this event. So we'd like to really thank them for being able to join hands with us to be able to carry out these activities during this week. As I conclude my remarks, I'd like to inform you about some initiatives. There's a dossier in front of you about a few initiatives the Uganda Securities Exchange is taking. Among those, we continue to leverage technology. We've enhanced our Easy Portal. Investors are able to amend their details within that portal, and the stockbrokers will be able to advise you accordingly on how to improve. We've also created a new market. It's called, it's a specialist market. This market does not operate directly as a public market, but it's a stepping stone to help companies get capital, improve their governance, but also work towards being listed companies. We calling this the USC $1. and there's more on that in the dossiers that you can read to. But any investor, women, men who runs a company and needs to refinance or have structured finance or needs to improve the way they do business, I think that is one place that we can actually assist you. The other is in partnership with the central bank. We have worked on providing the government securities. We currently have a relationship with Centenary Bank as the primary dealer, and investors are able to participate in auctions. I think over about 6 billion has been invested this year from retail investors. We're speaking about Wananchi who are able to come in and participate in this market and get a return. When we speak about returns of 18.5%, 14.5% for 16.5% for the 10-year bonds, the opportunities within this market are quite immense and offer a return. Finally, we are launching our commodities exchange segment soon, and we're in final stages of piloting and should be able to provide this new asset class in the early 2023. We believe this will provide a solution to not only creating standards within the agricultural industry, but will also provide a new avenue for investments. And we will not only limit it to the grains, we will also expand it. We've been having discussions with the gold sector as an area. We've been speaking to the Uganda Coffee Development Authority about the coffee auction house, and among those are innovations we are trying to work towards. As USC, we'll continue to educate market participants. We'll continue to promote ESG disclosures with our stakeholders, and engage in the diverse conversation of sustainable finance by providing new markets and products. We'll also ensure that establishing effective internal governance to support sustainability efforts within the listed companies is a conversation we will continue to have. I'll conclude by saying that an empowered investor is the heartbeat of the market. And empowering an investor means having the right information, timely information, to make decisions. I thank you for listening to me, and I wish you an inspiring and enlightening World Investor Week and session today. For God and my country. I'll take this opportunity to invite the country representative, UN Women, Paulina, to come and give us her words of wisdom. Thank you.
Mr. Paul Bwiso, the CEO, Uganda Security Exchange, Mr. Keith Kayegira, I don't know if I got that right, the CEO, Capital Market Authority, representative from the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, representatives of the listed companies, Stanbic, MTN Uganda, DFCU, New Vision, Umeme, Capital Market Authority, my colleagues from the UN, UN Women and other UN agencies who are here today, members from the media, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. So on behalf of UN Women Uganda Country Office, I'm very, very pleased to be here today, to be part of these gatherings, to attend and participate at the Women's Investment Breakfast Meeting with the broader theme, Sustainable Finance and Investor Confidence. This is an important symposium that has brought all of us together, especially the women entrepreneurs and women-led business owners. We are here to be able to discuss the role of capital markets in supporting the women economic empowerment agenda from various perspectives. I would like to thank the organizers and sponsors that I mentioned in the beginning. I would also like to applaud Uganda Securities Exchange and the Capital Market Authority for organizing this event, And a huge thank you to the sponsors too for their commitment to this important initiative and partnering with us to host this event. Thank you so much for organizing. Gender inequalities persist in every country in the world and society around the world, and Uganda is no different. In fact, COVID-19 has revealed how the crisis has disproportionately affected women. With less than a decade remaining to achieve the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, financing solutions that drive gender equality must be accelerated. We must take audacious steps and implement concrete actions that guarantee the transformation we need to see. I cannot say it better than the way UN Women Executive Director Ms. Sima Bahos put it. She said, "The achievement of gender equality and women's empowerment as embodied in Sustainable Development Goal number 5 is critical for humanity to progress and realize its full potential." UN Women is proud to be working alongside capital market actors to ensure that financing from both the public and private sector is sustainable and inclusive to all women and girls who wants to access. Durrani Shanhaz, who is the CEO and founder of Impact Investment Exchange, a Singapore-based organization that serves as a bridge between investors and development goals in Asia, also stated, I quote, "Women produce 60% of the world's food and household goods and invest 90% of earnings back into their families and communities." Listen to this. But they earn only 10% of the income. I just want to emphasize, to repeat this again, that women produce 60% of the world's food and household goods, and they invest 90% of earnings back to their families, but they only earn 10% of the income. It's crazy, isn't it? So women don't have significant access to global markets and funding, and represent a very small part of the global financing system. So we have to make sure that women access information, all women, even to the grassroots level. Because we can have all these opportunities, but if women don't have access to the information, the right information, then they will be left behind. So women's economic empowerment is the single most important factor contributing to equality between women and men. A specific focus on women is necessary. And I'm glad my brother, Mr. Paul Buiso, have really emphasized how well they work with women, that they have a number of platforms in their work that they make sure they include women, and we need to do more. So, moreover, given the reality that women and girls comprise majority of those in the most disadvantaged or marginalized groups, we need to consider the following areas to empower women and to realize their full participation in capital markets. Entrepreneurship and private sector development. We must make sure that we remove barriers to female entrepreneurship and promote inclusive financial services and trade policies. And our partner CEDA conducted a research where they find out that female entrepreneurs play a prominent role in the economies of the developing countries. So we cannot afford to leave them behind. We need to enhance access to land and property rights. We need to increase gender equality in terms of access to land, control over land and property rights. So we know the situation here in Uganda. Labor markets and decent work. I need to ensure equal access to decent and productive work for both women and men, and equal pay. Unpaid care work. We need to promote a more equitable sharing of unpaid care work between men and women. We need to advance human capital development. There is need to increase women's access to quality post-primary education, increase number of children enrolled in early childhood education. So if we don't invest in education for women, then women will be left behind. So let's make sure that we increase access to women to post-primary education. We need to promote gender-sensitive social protection. This will help women. We have opportunities with the signing of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. This is our hope in Africa. So we're really hoping also our colleagues who are in the investment sector will try to follow and push so that this can be rolled out well. It's a hope for Africa. I'm also very pleased with the partnership we are promoting both globally and at national level, and annually exchanges around the world in collaboration with the World Federation of Exchange, the International Organization of Securities Commissions, and UN Women hold a global campaign to raise awareness about the importance of investor education, protection, and women's participation and role in capital markets. In November 2021, UN Women, International Capital Market Association, and IFC launched a new practical guide on the use of sustainable bonds to advance gender equality, which was called Bonds to Bridge the Gap, a practitioner guide to using sustainable debt, gender equality. And I was sitting behind my sister there who is working on bonds. So yes, well done. We're glad to see women take these positions. And I'm sure there will be the ones now to make sure other women also have this access. So as I wrap up, I would like to take this opportunity to applaud the women-led business owners and entrepreneurs at this breakfast meeting, both who are here physically and those who have joined online, for taking bold steps in participating in this space. My sisters, together we will continue to push for a conducive environment for your participation in sustainable markets and for access to women and girls. To all participants and actors in this important dialogue, sincere appreciation to you all for making the effort to be part of this as we continue to set an agenda for a joint work to advance sustainable innovation for gender equality and promote gender lens in investment. UN Women, we remain committed to work with all of you. Please let us know if there are any initiative that you would like to partner with UN Women. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hello, sorry. Thank you so much, Dr. Paulina. I think we give another round of applause. Women. I mean, I think each of us has a phrase to say about a woman. Okay, we all know it's been said women are the bedrock of our society. And I think she said it all. If we support the women, we're supporting economic growth, development, sustainable, everything we're talking about. Why? We've had the statistics. Women put in a lot, they take little, but they are happy with a little. With all due respect to the men who have mothers or who have women in their lives. Would like to recognize the online audience that has signed in, has logged on to attend this function. Thank you so much. I would like to, at this juncture, I'd like to invite the Director Legal and Board Affairs of Capital Markets Authority, Miriam Musali. CMA is our regulator and a big influence on what happens in this market. Miriam, you're most welcome.
Good morning to all the ladies and gentlemen in the room. Pauline, thank you for your very moving and passionate speech, and also for sponsoring this event. Special thanks to you and to UN Women. Mr. Bwiso and the Stock Exchange, thank you very much for doing something for the women. It's nice to be here and to have breakfast and talk about these issues. So we do appreciate the Stock Exchange. We appreciate all the sponsors. I'm very delighted on behalf of the Capital Markets Authority to be a part of this Women Investment Breakfast. As mentioned by Mr. Bwiso, this is the 6th annual World Investor Week, and it's amazing to come together with regulators all over the world, members of the International Organization of Securities Commissions, stock exchanges, and to partner with so many other agencies globally to celebrate investor education. It's such a wonderful thing. And as the Capital Markets Authority, we are excited about this theme on the special role that capital markets plays in supporting women when it comes to economic empowerment. And there's a lot we can say on this particular topic. A lot is going on globally. We've seen in the financial sector that there have been products that have been designed specifically for women, and those products have been very successful. And so it's very good to see that this debate is now coming to the capital market space. And when it comes to our role really as the capital markets, there are different areas of emphasis. One of them is governance. I'm very passionate about corporate governance. And I believe that if you have good governance, you're going to see empowerment when it comes to women. Because imagine listed companies, for example, having boards that are balanced in terms of gender. That in itself is a very big achievement. And I want to encourage all the companies that are listed on the stock exchange to move in this direction, because that's really part of ESG, environmental, social, and governance considerations. So we need to see more women coming on boards, because there's a lot of research that shows that companies that have women in leadership, that have women at a governance level, do perform better than companies that do not. So we would like to see this particular area in terms of gender addressed on boards. Having women in senior management is also a big plus for companies. Having women in the workforce itself, you know, having policies that encourage women to be in the workforce in itself is very important when it comes to governance considerations. And as the Capital Markets Authority, governance is very key for the success of companies. The other, obviously, is in the area of products. We are in the capital market space, and we want to see more products that have an impact on women. We want to see, for example, private equity funds that are able to invest in companies that are women-led, because those companies are there and those companies are actually doing well. So being able to design some investment instruments where you can combine whether it's debt or equity with some level of impact on women is very important. But that said, even when you look at the fact that there are now gender bonds that have been issued in different countries, those are very important. These are thematic bonds, And they are very important when we look at issuers that are coming to market, for issuers to be able to look at women as a special interest group when it comes to the products that they are actually bringing to market. That would be really amazing. If you look at, again, private equity space, having institutional investors like the NSSF, if they want to invest in private equity, if they want to put some of their money into some of these firms, putting them into companies that promote women products, you know, those are very important, you know, things like maternal health, you know, being able to put your money into companies that actually help to save the lives of women, because they are real issues. These are real issues that concern women, you know. Companies that produce sanitary towels, those are enterprises that can be invested in. Those are enterprises that we should be focusing on so that we can improve the lives of women by the kind of products that are being offered. And would like to see, as Capital Markets Authority, more issuers getting interested in this. I was impressed by a research that was done by the Nairobi Stock Exchange together with Equilib. They partnered to assess all the listed companies in Kenya on gender equality in the workplace. And they actually produced a very interesting report. And as I was reading that report, I was trying to see, will they really name the companies that have women in the workforce? Will they really name these companies so that investors can know which companies these are and so that they can invest in them? And it was interesting, the companies that actually, they assessed all companies, and they were able to, in their report, recognize different companies for different aspects of gender equality. And that makes it very easy for investors to know that if I want to put my money where there's going to be impact on women, this is the kind of company I need to go for. So we want to see more financial inclusion, obviously, when it comes to the bond space. We want to see more financial inclusion when it comes to use of proceeds, and I've given you some examples. We want to see, there's what we call corporate behavior gender bonds, where capital is allocated on the basis of borrowers who have policies and practices that, that focus on women. But it would also be interesting to see some of these companies raising capital to lend to women. That's also something that's very, very interesting. And of course, you can utilize the debt market for that. So we are very keen on seeing how we can take this conversation further practically. And our appeal as Capital Markets Authority is, let's take these ideas. Let's partner with Uganda Securities Exchange. Let's partner with UN Women. Let's come up with these products. And as women, when we come up with these products, let's consume these products. The products are there for you. I don't know how many of you have a unit trust, for example, in the room. You have a unit trust. Yeah, yeah, very good, very good, very good. How many of us have an SCD account? Okay, some of you are wondering what's an SCD account. You're going to see the brokers. You're going to see the brokers, they're in this room. If you don't know what an SCD account is, go and find out. Go and find out, because if you're going to put your 90% of your money back into your families, you need to diversify, isn't it? Yes, instead of going to look for land in places where your land is even going to be, people are going to come and take your land, you can invest in safe financial instruments. And the beginning point is, of course, getting the education. Capital Markets Authority offers this education. The Securities Exchange offers this education. We partner as Capital Markets Authority. Whenever we do public education, we partner with brokers because we want to see real-time impact, okay? So we partner with brokers. And when we partner with brokers, they're able to assist you, give you investment advice, open these accounts for you. They are collective investment schemes or unit trusts where the minimum is 50,000. That's just hair. You know, you go and use 50,000 on the hair and you pass by Javas. Do you know that is a saving? That is a saving. So these things are not complex, they're not complicated. It's about making decisions in the right direction, okay? And remember, if you pass away and you have your money in shares, it can be inherited, isn't it? Yes. So we need to think of diversifying. We have to think of ways of practically getting involved. We need to have SCD accounts. We need to participate in the bond market. We need to have all these things. So for me, I believe that each and every one of us is an ambassador. The best marketeers are women. I'm telling you, they're the best. They market and market and market. Let us market capital markets. Let's put all our efforts into encouraging our friends to invest in the capital markets. Some of you are very busy. There are bankers who are here, and now even they're looking at their watches and their phones. Invest in the companies that are listed on the stock exchange. That's a passive investment, isn't it? Yes. Instead of trying to run a saloon alongside your job and you even get fired, why don't you open an SCD account? So these are very practical things. And while we focus on governance, while we focus on products, while we focus on all these things, creating an enabling ecosystem for you to invest, I think at the end of the day, I would like for Paul to stand here and talk about how women have taken over the investment space. That's a challenge I want to leave with you. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about all this information? Are you going to go and invest in a manner that's sustainable in our financial markets that are safe, that are well protected, that are regulated? What will you do about it? So thank you very much.
Can we please get a bigger hand clap for Miriam? Miriam, thank you so much. And I think she drove a nice, hard love message. Okay, that 50,000 we spend in the salon, not that we should not look beautiful, but let's split it in savings. It's not enough to be a woman, but what role are we playing? I've been privy to being part of women across the board. You know, the market woman and the woman at the top. And we each have a role to play in our space. So what are we doing? It's not enough to come here, listen to UN Women, listen to CMA, listen to USAE, listen to the banks. But what am I doing? Okay, part of what we do in the women's space is talk to women, and part of their challenges is investing. Where can we invest? But what's available to us? Knowledge is power. I'm sure we've taken away some good nuggets this morning. Next, we're going to have the panel discussion. The captains in the industry, what they're doing in the space. Let's listen, let's participate, but above all, let's be action-oriented women, okay? We're moving from, it's not enough, like I said, it's not enough to be a woman, it's not enough to be relevant. How significant am I in my space? But before we go into the panel discussion, I'd like to invite Asha Hussein from MTN to set the scene. Asha? Is she here? Oh, there. You're most welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. My name is Asha Hussein. I work with MTN, specifically managing fintech products. I have a brief presentation for you about mobile money and women empowerment. Thank you. Excuse me? It's not responding. Okay. So, Michelle Obama said, "No country can truly flourish if it stifles the potential of its women and deprives itself of contributions of half of its citizens." We all know Michelle Obama. She's the first black first lady of the US. So she recognized the importance of women in our society. And I need help, please. you. So at MTN, we are committed to fostering gender equality and women empowerment. We provide access and opportunities for women for financial inclusion, equality, and self-reliance. We build special partnerships that empower women to create a better and more connected life. So we enable women to earn a living, to cater for unseen expenses, cover medical emergencies, save for the future, create investment portfolios, secure their retirement, and many more. I'll just go into detail in my next slide. So under women empowerment, we have a product called Momo Advance. I believe that every one of you has gone through a scenario where they've run out of funds. Probably they want to pay for, if you're an entrepreneur, you probably want to pay for your raw materials, or you want to pay for goods and services, but you've run out of funds. So with our overdraft facility, we enable you complete a payment, pay for your goods, maybe buy voice and data in case you need to communicate to your people, by topping up for you the difference. I don't know if anyone has used this service before. We have it. You have? Great. So we have it under our savings and lending menu. If you dial 165, it's option 5, Momo Advance. So if you do not have it, please opt in. This is a good service that will enable you complete payments, even when you have insufficient funds. So we'll top up for you, and we give it to you at a very low interest. I think the best interest in the market, 0.5% daily. And if you pay it within 24 hours from the time you got it, it's actually free of charge. You only pay the access fee. Okay. So under financial inclusion, we have saving and investment products. Through a partnership with Zeno Investments, you're able to save and invest in a goal that you're interested in. For example, you want to save for maybe you want to build a home, you want to save for your retirement, or you want to save for school fees for your children. So Zeno allows you to save, and then you get dividends, or you get returns after you've invested. So you save, you create an investment account, create a goal, and then save towards it. And at the end of the year, you earn an interest, or you earn you get a return for your investment. So this is a very good product. I don't know if any of you know about it. Okay, so it's a very good product. You can find it under our savings and lending menu as well. It's an investment product. It allows you to save, and right now, as we speak, we have Zeno has over 40 billion in assets right now, and 40% of these investments, or the people saving, are women. Isn't that amazing? And yeah, so 57% of the assets are actually 57% of the assets are actually owned by women. So if you'd like to know more about Zeno, I have their website there for you. We also have healthcare services. So under our healthcare, we have partnered with Clinic Pesa. So Clinic Pesa allows you to save for unforeseen circumstances. You save in the event that you get sick and you do not have money. You're able to pay off your bills using your savings, or we offer you a loan. If you're a member of Clinic Pesa, we'll offer you a loan so that you're able to take care of your medical emergencies. You can also even share or pay a bill for your family or even your friend. So this is a very good, it's a very good product. Under the same product, we have something called a Clinic Pesa Maternity that allows women to save. It allows women to save and plan for their delivery. So this particular package calculates your transport costs, your antenatal visits, the kits that you need, and etc. And then they tailor a plan, a savings plan for you, so you're able to save, and when the time comes, you don't have to worry about finances. And in partnership with NCBA Uganda, we have microloans. So for entrepreneurs, women in business, don't be stuck. We have microloans that are unsecured. So you can access these loans that are paid within 30 days. You can access them under our savings and lending menu. At very low interest rates. More cash. This very one that is on the screen, the one that we have in partnership with NCBA, offers you microloans at only an interest of 9%. We also have More Sente, offered by Jomo in partnership with MTN. So they also offer microloans for 7 and 14 days and also 30 days at an interest of between 7% to 9%. So don't get stuck. Please take microloans, invest, yeah. And in addition to being able to take microloans, you're able to also save under More Cash. You can save and you'll be able to earn an interest, an annual interest, depending on the amount that you've saved. On the screen, I have the interest rates that, depending on the amount that you've saved, will give you an interest at the end of the year. Yes. Then this one is interesting. This is MomoPay. I don't know how many of us here are in business. Okay, outside MTN, I own an online beauty shop. So most of my customers didn't want to send me money directly because they incur sending charges, and then they also have to include withdrawal charges. So this product here is very good, and my customers actually love it because they make payments for free. So if you are in business, I'd advise you to onboard for MomoPay. So customers pay directly regardless of where they are. You're given a merchant code which you share with your customers. So they just dial *165, option 3 for MomoPay, and then they enter the code and you receive your payment. It's very secure because you don't have to. For me, I would send border borders to deliver, so they would bring back the cash, or the customers would have to send me the money. So now they send me the money, I receive the money, then I can send their products to them. So you don't have to move with the money all the time, so it's very secure, it's convenient. Customers don't incur any costs while making the payments, and then you can actually transfer your funds directly from your wallet, your business wallet, to your bank account directly, which is a good thing. And then you reach out to more customers that are not in the same location with you. It's just a matter of dialing the code, making the payment, and that's it. You can validate the payment there and then. So these are very good products. If you're out there in business, please onboard for MomoPay. Okay. Do we have any questions or any submissions? Okay. Let me conclude. Okay. So Eleanor Roosevelt said that a woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong it is until it's in hot water. So we are all strong. I think we've all gone through, we've all seen how the economy is really tough right now. Fuel prices are high, everything is really high, but we don't have a choice other than being strong. And I want to let you know that you can do anything that you want to do. So if you're not saving, if you haven't started investing, please, this is the time and you can do it. Thank you.
A bigger hand clap for Asha, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you, Asha. Like she said, these days the motto is economy, but we still see how good the ladies look, and the families are still fed, and the businesses are still running, and the programs are still running. So it shows the resilience of the woman. I'd like to invite our panel discussion, our panel that is going to take us through the next discussion. Like I said, we have the industry captains in the women industry. A lot of organizations have taken a lead in the women agenda and driving the women agenda. So would like to thank them, and so that we're going to hear from the different ladies what they're doing in their space. And like I said, ladies, let's just not listen, let's participate, let's action. Okay, it's not enough for us to listen to the ladies speak, but what are we doing in our space? Okay, Asha mentioned something about MomoPay. I am a beneficiary of MomoPay. I use it a lot. I have a limit of like 500,000. Okay, and it comes in very handy. So they're very, there are resources out there that we need to make use of. When we're in our women circles, can we share this, what we've learned today? It would be a waste if we just came and sat and went back just the way we came. Part of our panel is Susan Namaganda. As I read, I request you to go to take a place at the front. Susan has worked on several public and private transactions in lead roles. In operations and technical. She's a technical expert in her field. She's been a team leader on the MTN IPO, team leader on fixed income trading. She's led the operations that did the private debt medium term note program for education. She was a team leader on the CIPLA IPO. She was the sales person on the private debt medium term note program for microfinance in 2017. She was a team leader. I think I'll stop saying team leader. Just know all those. She was the team leader. Yeah, on the DFCU rights issue in 2017, on the Umeme Holdings secondary market offering in 2014 and 16, on the NIC rights issue, on the Nairobi Securities Exchange IPO, and the Crystal Telecom, the Nairobi Securities Exchange IPO in 2014, and the Crystal Telecom IPO in Rwanda, so which is now MTN. Thanks for the correction. Susan, we're happy to have you. And I think we have the right person in this space, given our theme. Next is Kathy Akiteng Adengo. Kathy is the head of sustainability at Stanbic Bank. She is a corporate affairs expert with over 18 years of experience in managerial and executive advisory across the private and public sectors. She has a proven track record in corporate communications, government and public affairs, issues and risk management, sustainability, CSR and reputation management. So she manages Stanbic's reputation. Kathy is skilled at building relationships at all levels, at all business levels in the industry, with government, with communities, and she's an excellent communicator and team leader. She's capable of energizing and managing global and diverse teams, and she's a key role player in providing strategic advisory at the C-suite and management levels. Ladies and gentlemen, a hand clap for Kathy Adengo. Next is Jennifer Kabanyana Mwijuche. Jennifer is the founder and CEO of Unified Cargo Handling Limited. Her career is in trade and logistics, spanning over 20 years. Jennifer has been credited for her instrumental role in introducing a new training curriculum with emphasis on the issue of business integrity for the improvement of the transport and logistics industry. She has been twice recognized as the Woman Entrepreneur of the Year by the Women Entrepreneurs Association, UWEL, based on her expansion of her business into the region. She has served on the Presidential Investors Roundtable and was formerly the chairperson. She formerly chaired the board of UWEL. In addition to serving on other boards, Jennifer holds a master's degree in transport economics and logistics management from ESAMI. I'm also privileged to have known Jennifer in the women in business space. She has been a mentor and a coach, not just advancing her cause, but along her value chain. So Jennifer, we appreciate you in the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, a hand clap for Jennifer. Next, Miriam Ikirapa Musali. We've already interacted with her. Miriam is an accomplished legal consultant and advocate of the High Court of Uganda with local and regional experience in consulting, regulation, and training within the financial services sector. Miriam joined or rejoined Capital Markets Authority as the Director Legal and Board Affairs in November 2020. She was formerly the Acting Managing Director and COO of Alexander Forbes, a financial services provider. Prior to joining Alexander Forbes, that is now Zamara, Miriam was the Director Market Supervision at the Capital Markets Authority, where she gained over 10 years of experience in legal, regulatory, and compliance matters. She's pursuing an apprenticeship in the Macroeconomic and Financial Management Institute of East and Southern Africa, where she became a graduate fellow. She is an expert in supervision of non-bank financial institutions. A hand clap for Miriam. The person I'm going to introduce next has a very long CV. I keep telling her it's not her CV. You know, we talk about social impact. She is social impact herself. You know, even before we go into what Mercy kind of we show. I have also been privileged to work with Mercy on many fronts. She is extremely supportive of the women agenda. When she talks about it, she defines passion for the woman. But she's also got a lot of passion in everything else she does. Mercy is the current Registrar General of the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, URSB, a government institution. Before that, she successfully served in different ranks at URSB as Director Intellectual Properties, Director Business Registration, Manager, Intellectual Property. Prior to joining URSB, she served as the State Attorney at the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs and was a legal assistant at Shonubi Musoke and Company Advocates in her former life. Mercy has more than 20 research articles and publications under her name in the local and international journals, professional publications, and is an ardent Rotarian. She's also written many Rotary newsletters. Like I said, Mercy's CV is very rich. So I am picking out what she's been everywhere. Okay, where it's been women, Mercy has been there. Okay, she is a member of the multi-sectoral committee of the National Intellectual Property Policy, as well as a member of the National Expert Group for Technology Transfer and Utilization of Intellectual Property. Mercy, I think we need to open a website for you. But she's extremely resourceful. If you want something to get done, give it to Mercy. Okay? She's an industry leader. Mercy, I think we'll talk about all these as we go along. Okay? Okay, ladies, you're most welcome. Thank you for your respective roles that you've played in the industry. We know you've impacted a lot. Ladies, these are the unsung heroes, okay? They do a lot. We get to benefit. We've talked about the industry developments. In this World Investor Week, we'd like to appreciate USE again for bringing this information to us and for inviting the ladies here to be part of it. Okay, in no particular order, I think I'll start with Mercy. URSB. We know as a first step to creating an investable business is to ensure that it's formalized. Part of what we do in the industry is get women formalized. You know, there are a lot of informal businesses, okay? Many of us do online. I think Asha talked about online. Is it registered? You know, is it formalized? So how have women-led businesses embraced this process from the perspective of the Bureau? And maybe in line, what's the cost of compliance? Okay, we know they must be registered. What does it take for them to be registered, and how are you advancing this cause?
Thank you, Damali. Good morning to you, women, and the few men that are in the house. Yes, Uganda Registration Services Bureau continues to make impact in our society in as far as formalization of businesses is concerned. The role of Uganda Registration Services Bureau does not stop on business registration, though we are popularly known for business registration. We hold critical registers, and these registers have women and men, and if I may be permitted to break down these registers, we maintain the business names register under the business names registrations law. We maintain the company register under the Companies Act 2012 and as recently amended. We maintain partnerships under the Partnership Act of 2010. We maintain excuse me, documents, legal documents. These are contracts, agreements of evidential value under the Documents Registrations Law or Act. We maintain security interest in movable property, commonly known as chattels, under the Security Interest in Movable Property Act of 2019. We maintain intellectual property registers in terms of trademarks or service marks under the trademarks law, patents, utility models, technovations, industrial designs under the Industrial Designs Act, Industrial Property Act. We maintain trade secrets Act, which are protected under the Trade Secrets Protections Act. We maintain geographical indications registers under the Geographical Indications Act. We maintain copyright, which are works of arts in terms of literary, artistic, and scientific works under the Copyright and Neighboring Rights Act of 2006. We maintain registers of companies that are undergoing insolvency or are undergoing a rescue regime under the Insolvency Act of 2019 and as recently amended. We have over 30 registers that we maintain. That's just a few. And the most important is the civil register, which is the marriage register that provides for family stability and family justice, because under the civil registry, we register civil marriages. We register all marriages that have been conducted in faith-based organizations, save for Islamic marriages. We issue single status letters. We license places of worship. We license special places to where you conduct your marriages. To mention but a few, when you break down all these registers, under the 21 Acts of Parliament that we implement and 18 regulations that we implement as an institution, you find that they have a critical role to play in our society, in as far as commercial justice is concerned, in as far as family justice is concerned, in as far as doing business is concerned for men and women. And women play a key role in these registers. We see many women registering businesses. We have a number of women-owned businesses. We have a number of women-owned innovations, and we have worked with different women organizations at a local and international level with the World Intellectual Property Organization to grow and support women in business, and women are doing great. Though we have so many businesses that are not registered and we encourage registration. In terms of costs, the cost of doing business, how do you determine the cost of doing business? The cost of doing business is determined by the time it takes to register your business in Uganda, by the process that is involved in registering, the steps it takes to get your business concluded, the coverage, the access to the services of registration, and we have enabled this through simplification of all processes. You can register your business online, and we've come up with even a better system that will be rolled out by close of this year, the online business registration system that is going to replace the one we have. So we have simplified the processes, and the documentation that used to be bulky has been simplified through just filling over a form of a company registration or a business name registration. It's just as affordable as 24,000 Uganda shillings to register a business name, and as affordable as 150,000 to register a company. And for women, and as our moderator Damali mentioned, that is peanuts to you, because you, when you're to value the handbag, the clothes, the lipstick, the makeup that you have on you, you can't compare it with the value of registering of a business. Many people think it is expensive, especially for the urban society. It is as affordable as you have heard, save for maybe a few rural women, but you know, women always have their money somewhere. 24,000 really. Even a woman in a rural area can sell their plants. If they can afford to take their children to school and pay tuition, they can put aside 24,000 to pay. It's just prioritizing that is always a challenge, and the perceptions and the mindsets around registration. Thank you, Damali.
Thank you, Mercy. Please make that hand clap louder. And everything Mercy has said is true, people. We once were working with a group of women who thought registering their businesses was next to nothing, and they sent us a group that was registering them at the 24,000. And believe you me, I think 95% of them registered. Okay, so did we know that? Asha, you told us you have a side business. Is it registered? Is it? Oh, great. How many of us have that car business on the side? And is it registered? Anyone without a registered business? You have Mercy in the house. Okay, thank you, Mercy, for that very insightful conversation. Next, I'd like to introduce Kathy. Kathy Adengo is from Stanbic Bank. We have heard she is in charge of the bank's reputation, but not just that. She's in charge of sustainability. And the theme for this breakfast and this week's Investor Week was sustainability finance. Kathy, please enlighten us what you mean by sustainability by finance, and how this evolution affects us, and what it means to all of us as women, as business leaders, as industry players. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's such a pleasure to be here this morning in front of these amazing women. The first thing I'll say is the understanding of even the word sustainability puzzles most people, and I want to just simplify it for you. At the end of the day, and I'll speak also from just a banking perspective, the reason we do what we do and why sustainability is important is we're talking about humanity, and we're talking about our environment, and we're talking about society. Simply put, that's actually what sustainability is all about. And when you think about the theme for this morning and women, you'll often hear the acronym used simultaneously with sustainability, which is ESG, which is about the environment, which is about society and social, and the last one is governance. Women form a fundamental pillar to what we want to address on social aspects. And the reason why it's important that we're having this discussion from a sustainable finance perspective is how are we creating affordable capital and finance for amazing women like Ugandan women entrepreneurs who are making a difference in this economy and need to grow. I think a statistic that's quite alarming, which I think you've heard before, for most female entrepreneurs and even just SMEs in general, especially because SMEs form a large part of our economy, they usually fail within the first year of just setting up a business. Does anyone have any friends who tried something and within 1 year they're like, no? Yes, so it's relatable. Now, from where Stanbic's coming from, we have all this capital. We have quite a bit of money we'd like to push through into the economy. But we want to first understand what's creating this failure rate. We need to appreciate, and when we talk about especially women entrepreneurs, what are their day-to-day struggles? An interesting fact we found out in our report is, did you know that the reason why most women sometimes are scared of going into business is because of a culture fear? Men are seen as more as risk takers. We're quite calm. and sadly, it's conditioning. It's also around, you're not ambitious, you don't want to be ambitious, too ambitious or want to be an executive. And yet you're executives of your lives, of your homes, and of your businesses and ideas that you want to put forward. But we need to first understand those challenges in order for us to create solutions that actually work, both for any type of small entrepreneur, but most especially for women to address what their concerns are. So some of the things that you'll hear from us are two major initiatives, which are under our sustainability portfolios, is something called Stanbic for Her. We had to work with IFC to fully do a survey to understand the Ugandan female entrepreneur. The minute we discovered that, we said, this is how we're going to solution. So we do have a product called Stanbic for Her that looks at creating, one, it gives you affordable financing. for your business, especially even with the micro lending, which is what most people seem to need, but also understanding your business nature and molding the solution to suit what you need. Whether you're in trade, whether you're in export, whether you're an events company, you're a makeup company, we try to ensure we first understand you. And then the second part is we offer business training through our SME incubator. I don't know if you've heard of the business incubator before, but we do churn through up to about 500 companies a year. And actually, 40% are female-owned entrepreneur businesses. So why we're very keen to do the SME training is most people ask why would a bank invest in that? Because it's actually free. If you're a business, and even if you're female-owned, but an SME, we actually train you on how to run a business, because that's what's essentially causing the failure rate. People come and say they can't win a tender, but they don't know why. And then when we ask them, but do you have books of accounts? Are you registered? They're not. And we have to train entrepreneurs to understand what's needed to gain more opportunities and to help your business survive. Some people don't even know basics on accounting. They even human relations or employing people, how to manage people. We go through a good 3-month program through the business incubator just to help entrepreneurs with that concern. And if we don't tackle the idea, especially for female entrepreneurs, to learn how to actually run a business, you're not self-sustaining and you won't grow. And for us, it's important because we want to finance you. So if you're actually well established, more than likely, you will be bankable. You'll be able to access quite a bit of funding. But also, as you grow, we're able to support you with more solutions in your growth journey. So that in essence is around what we're trying to prioritize from a sustainability perspective and how it links back to what we're trying to do to help female entrepreneurs, because it does have a huge impact on social aspects in society.
Thank you, Kathy. Remember the theme? Sustainable finance and investor confidence. If you're going to go to Kathy and you want to take advantage of all the things she's talked about, you have to comply and align. And she said some things are really basic, ladies. Okay? It's very easy for us to have our business. As we make the money, put it in our bag, go for makeup, pay, buy some clothes. There are these people, our friends who bring us clothes or online, and you're busy eating your capital. Okay? And you don't even know. But all the things she's talked about, if we implement them, then we'll be able to draw the line. Thank you, Kathy. I'll come back to you. Okay, next, Jennifer. Jennifer is a darling for me in this industry. Jennifer, kindly walk us very briefly through your journey as an accomplished businesswoman. What are some of the challenges, some of the lessons we should look out for, we should avoid? Because we know that people who've come before us, if they share their experiences with us, we don't have to go through the same vagaries. Jennifer, over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. And USE, thank you for inviting us to be here. My journey of 26 years, I don't know how to shorten it, but I will try. So I do business of logistics. It's a male-dominated industry, like most of you may know. I'm sure those who have had the services of transport and logistics in one way or the other, you have been served by men or companies owned by men. My company is called Unifreight Cargo Handling. We have now 3 strategic business units. We have Unifreight Cargo Handling, we have Unifreight Trucking Services, and we have Unifreight CFS in Mombasa, operating in Mombasa. And we were established in 1996. That was our first trial business from 1996. I'm saying this so that Mercy does not go to check her books. We were registered as Unifreight Limited that time, and after 10 years we changed our names and became Unifreight Cargo Handling in 2006. And so we do provide 3 essential logistic services. We provide our core and mother service was customs clearing. The business everybody, of course, knows, and that's why Damari was talking about integrity. I'll come to that. Doing sustainable business in clearing and forwarding, and I know Kathy's father was the pioneer in that industry. Doing business of clearing and forwarding for 26 years, there are unique attributes of that person to be able to have it sustained for that period in that industry. And I said I will come back to that. So we also offer transportation services. Our common route is Mombasa, Kampala, and Mombasa, Juba. And then we also provide CFS. Now, CFS is what we call container terminal, container freight station. That is an extension of a port in Mombasa, or a car freight station. Our facility in Mombasa is purely handling motor vehicles. We don't do containers, we do motor vehicles. And so that is what we do. We employ 120 permanent staff. We have casual staff which ranges between 350 to 450 every year, because we change according to contracts. And so my journey I will touch, because the topic is sustainable business, so I really will try to align my story with managing a sustainable enterprise, because I think part of what we are discussing is the issue of encouraging or growing enterprises, local SMEs, for purposes of partaking the opportunities in capital markets, right? And so Unifreight, we have been able to sustain our business because of 4 things. One is the product we provide, which is customs clearing, and the way we modeled it, or we decided to make ourselves different. We do customs clearing, we do transport, but behind that, our product is based on character or integrity in terms of developing confidence as a result of being honest in our transactional interactions with our clientele. So for us to be able to sustain or have a customer experience but also maintain relationship, it's because of the way we relate to our customers. What we say is what we mean. We value and care for our customer beyond what I'm going to get from you. We want to deal with your business as if it is our own. The problems you are experiencing become ours in as far as our area is concerned, and partnering with you to be able to grow that business. If we have changes in our environment we think is going to affect you, we will be the first ones to be able to inform you, this is coming, have you thought about it? Solving or identifying problems that will affect you, but also understanding that we are serving you so that we can earn money that is worth our service. It's not because we are going to take advantage of you, like most people want to do, because of your ignorance, rather of not knowing the complications with the logistics of movement of cargo. We are honest, and integrity is key in as far as our relationship management with our client. Now, of course, clients are people. Kathy mentioned about the issue of people in as far as sustainable business is concerned. So that part is the clientele, but also internally we have staff. People that work for us are very, very important. The way we deal with them or manage the relationship with them is very critical. we care for our staff. We train our staff. For us, we believe that a great company should only be made by great people. We do not believe that there is going to be any other way to do it. But we are one of the local companies that really invest a lot in training. I always tell people, I brag about the team that comes out of Unifreight. Whenever they go, they are marketable. They are being snatched by multinationals in terms of quality of the people we train. Because I really love transferring skills or transferring knowledge to my staff. I give myself to them in terms of whatever I know. I want to share it with them so that they can grow. And I always tell them, even if you live here and I find you growing wherever you go, I feel I've made an impact. And for me, that is very, very important. I feel that it is a ministry I have to do as well. That part of my business is also growing people. And so those are some of the key secrets I would believe that are important to an entrepreneur. That it is not always profit. It's always looking at people and what impact you are making to them. And when you do that, they actually are loyal to you. Most people think loyalty comes from only money. I may not be the best payer, but I think what my staff gets from Unifreight is much better than the money they earn. And so for me, I think that is very, very critical. People, how do we care for people? And again, I think sustainable business is also about the society. You know, the bigger society where you are operating. I'm always not shy to say that I pay taxes, so government is a key partner, a stakeholder in my business, so I pay. The Bible says, give Caesar to what belongs to him, and I do that. I pay taxes. I also support society. We have CSR programs. As a local farm, we have CSR programs with Watoto. We have CSR programs with this OESO programs. We support some of the OESO people we pay fees for. And so for me, I think the sustainable business, then the environment. Our logistics is green. We really, really mind about the environment that we operate in. We have automated our systems, and therefore issues of paperless transactions, communication that is paperless. We encourage our staff to communicate internally. We also, the packaging we use for our exports, for imports, we advise our clients regarding the materials they are using in as far as transport is concerned. We were compelled 5 years ago to change our fleet and buy brand new vehicles, again as a result of the sensitivity of emissions in as far as environment is concerned. And so that is, I think, for me, critical issues of an entrepreneur, of an enterprise. In as far as your growth strategies are concerned, you need to look at that. And of course, processes and systems, very, very critical. Technology in as far as growth and of course, developing investor confidence. Preparation, I'm speaking to all of us SMEs that we need to indeed, when we talk about capital markets, how are we preparing to develop investor confidence? So tomorrow, if we want to list our companies for financing in as far as our growth strategy is concerned, what are we doing in as far as that preparation is concerned? Because I think that is what is critical in as far as our local entrepreneurs is concerned, that we aim, or if we are planning to grow and look for sustainable financing in capital markets, there are certain things that we need to be doing right now. Thank you.
A bigger hand clap, people. We had breakfast, I presume. Thank you, Jennifer. Now, if Jennifer walked to Stanbic Bank and wanted a facility, would Stanbic say no? Why? You can see she's prepared herself and her company for the industry. Kathy alluded to a lot of that. It's not enough for us to make money, just to be profit driven. Okay? In our businesses, we must have sustainability, environment, social governance at the back of it. It's becoming the new normal. Yes, it's a new trend, but we know when trends come, they overtake. So in everything that we do, that is the direction that we need to take. Speaking of preparing ourselves, like Jennifer said, for the capital markets, I'd like to go to Miriam. Miriam, please enlighten us what CMA is doing in this space and what needs to be done, what they need to align. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Damali. Capital Markets Authority, together with financial sector deepening and the European Union, put together a program for businesses to make businesses ready, investment ready. Coming to market is a process that companies have to go through. And if you're not a big company, it can be quite a challenge. So we're very pleased when financial sector deepening was able to come together with us and the European Union to put a grant and to actually train businesses on how to be investment ready. This is something that's ongoing, and you can get this information either from the Capital Markets Authority or from financial sector deepening. That said, I feel that women in business have to run their business in such a way that there's a proper exit mechanism. Because when you run your business well, like Jennifer was saying, when you run your business well, you've put in place structures, you've put in place systems, you have the right people. The day you want to leave that business, you want to get which you want to. Okay, that's very good. So Paul, take note. When you want to leave that business, you want to exit that business in such a way that you're rewarded as an entrepreneur. The blood, sweat, and tears of 26 years. So exit mechanisms are very important. So as you run your business, you need to think, in the next 20 years, what sort of value am I going to leave behind for the people that are going to take over the business? And like we are all saying the same thing. If you talk about sustainable finance, you have to know environmental. She has given you the illustration. You have to know the social issues. And you have to have proper governance. Now, Catherine has already told us they have the incubator, the business incubator. Some of us have not even bothered to go and find out. And you said it's what?
It's free. It's free training for 3 months.
Can you imagine? It's free. You're there suffering with your business. When there's... Yeah. You see, that's the problem. Sometimes opportunities are before our very eyes, and we don't take advantage of those opportunities. So one, you have the incubator. Go to the incubator. You have the deal flow facility. If you're the size of business that can list on an exchange, go and find out about the deal flow facility. Let us run our businesses in such a way that, one, there's a legacy. There's a what? A legacy. It's not going to end with Jennifer. Is it going to end with you? No. I remember a time, my children are very interesting. Now, I have an 8-year-old, and incidentally, she's called Jennifer. Now, Jennifer saw the time Jumia was celebrating 10 years. Okay? So she saw the label, 10 years. And then she saw another company that was celebrating 100 years. I forget the company's name. I don't know if it was Macquarie. But then she said, these ones are 10 and the billboards are everywhere. Do they know there's another one celebrating 100 years? And I laughed, but I said, that is legacy. You've started that side hustle. Formalize it. Mercy has told you how. After you formalize it, get the skills, get mentors, join associations. I think you're also running a women's entrepreneurship association. Join those associations and then get your business ready for your exit. Exit through the stock market. If you're at a size where you can exit through the stock market. But guess what? If you don't exit through the stock market, there are people that want to put money into businesses. We call those private equity funds, isn't it? Yes. People are looking for businesses where they can put money in, buy equity, and get a return. So make your business attractive. Put in the effort. Get strategic investors in your business. They will transform your business. Please don't wait to go to Shark Tank. No. There are opportunities locally. So in Capital Markets Authority, we have a whole department that deals with this area. When you go to the stock exchange, they have this information. We are here to support you. We are here to support your businesses. And today we are saying, get yourself ready. Make sure there is legacy. The other thing I also want to mention is we are talking about investor education. At Capital Markets Authority, we are very interested in investor education. The reason we are interested in investor education is because sometimes when you tell people shares, it's not like land which they can see and houses. So it seems so far-fetched. When you say you own a piece of Stanbic, people don't understand that one, okay? And so we are very passionate about giving people information. Now for women, can we get interested in this information? Some of you, when you're watching TV and then you see they are beginning to announce the stocks on the exchange, that's when you go to cook food. You leave your husband to watch. You say, those people also, what are those lines going up and down? Those are stock prices going up and down. This information is with stockbrokers. Do you know you can go to a stockbroker and ask information about the stocks and you get educated? The first step is investor education. When you get knowledge on investor education and you begin to understand the products in the stock market, you will invest in it. You'll invest in it and you will know how to invest. But now there's another category of sophisticated investors who want the things which other people don't even know about. Now those are the ones who also get hit, isn't it? They're the ones who fall into all kinds of scams. You've heard of Ponzi schemes? Do you know right now there's a task force at the Ministry of Finance to deal with Ponzi schemes? Because instead of people getting education, they are getting their money and giving it to people to do all sorts of things because you're not taking the basic financial information. So let's start by education. Let us go back to class. Let us get people in our businesses to understand how businesses should be run. Let us sit at the table. Many of you have read the book by Sheryl Sandberg, Lean In, isn't it? If you haven't, then now again, that is too bad. Eh? But if you've read that book, she says you should lean in, you should be at that table. This is the beginning of something new. And we thank the stock exchange for it. Go and learn more. Go and learn how to run your business. Run about stock markets. Invest. Be a formidable force. Because you're the people that are putting money back into your families. I think that's enough.
A big hand clap for Miriam. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you can see the passionate women that are behind the scenes to make things happen for you. Okay, online audience, I hope you're listening in. Let's take advantage of these opportunities. Miriam has talked about being a legacy builder. If Jennifer burnt out today, we'll be looking at her children to take over, But we've seen some of the children are not interested in your business. Okay? They have their own dreams. Or let's say they are, they'll need support. What's a nice exit route? She can list, make more money. It gets run as an entity where she'll sleep, go on holiday, and do all those things. Knowledge is power. Let's take power into our own hands. Thank you, Miriam. Next, Susan, the team leader in all the things we have heard about. Susan, you've played a very key role in ensuring all these IPOs get listed. Okay. Let's shift a bit from maybe just business investment and personal investment as a professional. The investors you interact with on a day-to-day, yeah, what do you see? Because I'm sure they are here. Yeah. Or what message do you have to drive to them in terms of sustainability? Ladies and gentlemen, when I say sustainability, I hope I know what we're talking about. I think Kathy made it very easy for us to understand. It's not enough to just make money. Jennifer gave us examples of what we need to build into our businesses. Okay? So away from the usual, this is what they do, we need to pick the nuggets they're giving us on how we can build sustainability into our businesses. Susan, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, and USE for the platform. And I also congratulate everyone who is in this room, because definitely there is an opportunity for us to learn today. So basically, on the attributes that we have seen with our investors, and I'll dwell on women, since it's women, isn't it? So for the woman, as I was coming to, because I had to do certain things before I came here, there was a lady on our desk, and she had her NERA certificates, and she was signing up her children. So for the women, it's very true that 90% is coming back to our families. So a woman, when she's coming into our office, if they are single, it's for themselves. If they are mothers, it is not about themselves. It is, I'm opening up an account, and I'm opening up ITF accounts to ensure that all my children get shares or get government bonds. So, and then she was there signing up, and she was being helped and everything. So that is a very true thing that we are seeing. And it's rising every day with the passage of time, now with more access to information, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook, all these very platforms that are being organized by different entities. You find that now the women are starting to come and play. However, I also know that women, we are very good at going for these things. I tell you, even when there's breakfast, you're like, night, today free breakfast, no payment. Let me go to that place. You get it, and also learn. So women, we like to sign up for things. So we have seen that when we as brokers, we are about 5 brokers in the market. So when we come, people are eager. They are going to open up the SCD accounts, and the women will be at the forefront. So you'll see that for the total number of SCD accounts you have collected, the bulk majority are for the women. Now, when we start on the follow-up of investing, the risk-averse nature comes out of the woman. Agamba bannange ebyo binaafuna Suzani. You get it? I want to come and specifically talk to you. You get it? I want to come and specifically talk to Salma. Specifically talk to Melissa. Or Catherine, yesterday, my colleague, had a client who a woman, just coming to specifically talk to assure her, because women were not willing to go the extra mile to put all our money there. Yet we are willing to put money in bridal showers. And you know, people are going to charge us 100,000. I think that is only a meal. They have not told you about the dress code and everything. So you're willing to risk extra money for bridal showers, for baby showers, and yet, yes, it's good to be in community and actually celebrate, but we are all at different pay grades. So now you find the one who is organizing for us is about 10 million Uganda shillings in salary a month. she's collecting all of us who are about 400,000, 500,000. Choka, we are earning at the same. Choka, when the bridal shower ends, you're the one who is going to look for transport for them. They're in a car. You get it. So, and yet when it comes to your personal finance, the minimum, you get it. If that's what is asked for example, for bonds, for the shares. Because that one we said the minimum is 100. Agamba, let me send you 20,000 for Stanbic shares that are 26 shillings per share. And then you're like, if you're bringing 10,000, 20,000 for Stanbic shares on a monthly basis, honestly, when will you get mileage? You get it? And yet the men, they are slow starters. But when the men get it, they are there deploying the resources. The one you thought that would come in at 100,000 starts coming in at what? At 1 million shillings, 2 million shillings. I have a specific client. He works in upcountry. He's a client that has been with us. Actually, he was even there before I started at the farm at 9 years at Crested Capital. So he was there, and at that time he had just also graduated from campus, and he works in one of the camps. But let me tell you something. This client has grown from a client who just invests 100,000 to now saying, Susan, I've put 3 million, I've put 5 million. So by the end of the month, you're seeing his ticket size is about over 15 million. This is a person who was at 100,000. Even one time I told him, but said, you know what, Susan, it's all about diligence. Women, we don't want even to work up country. Yet that's where the money is. He says the only time I have to go to town is on a Monday or a Friday, isn't it, when they come? But all his money, he collects it. Now, for us, we are the ones who are busy sharing. You don't want to, they're like, I don't want to go up there in Karamoja, things are bad. And yet that's where the money is. And I believe we have also been called to different seasons. Now, because of that, then you find that ultimately, when we are starting to grade women and men to see what they hold in the total sums held, the woman will have far less, yes. And then you'll find that the woman will start accessing this money. For them, they are not long-term investors, short-term. Because you're like, my money, you get it. So also that's the nature we have seen. So please, let's try. Let's be the long-term investors. We are not going to start bringing men down, yet they are doing their part, isn't it? Yet for us, God has given us the facilities, the money, and yet we are wasting away on things that are not what? Beneficial for all of us, for our sustainability. Because now you'll find that in the future, these women do not have enough disposable what? Incomes. I mean, it's Jennifer who's going to go to a visa alone. And she's there and she's like, where are the women of Uganda? It was because we were not saving along with her, isn't it? Yeah, so let's try. And that's the character, and those are the attributes. But I believe the stock market is a very beautiful place. There are women there that are willing to help. Please do come on board. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Susan. That was beautiful. How many of us are invested in the stock market? Show of hands. High hands, not low hands. That's like less than 1% of the room. Okay? Now, when we leave, or this week, can we purpose to diversify our portfolio or our asset classes? Okay? Especially for those who are employed. Because there's this belief that, oh, if you're employed, you can't do side business. It can go down because you're not in it. All these are available for you to invest. You don't have to monitor them morning and evening. There's someone to do that for you. Okay, so let's make use of the different asset classes. Okay, before we go into the Q&A, just some closing remarks. Or not necessarily closing, but I'll just do one more round. Mercy, what are your takeaways? What do you want to tell us? What should we do under this sustainability umbrella?
Thank you, Damali, and thank you, fellow speakers. That was amazing. Our message is for you to formalize. the fact that you have a name as an individual, you have maybe a national ID if you're above 18 years, even those that are below are getting. You have a passport that identifies you. Maybe even you have a family. Then the same should be applicable to the businesses that you have, whether they are side hustles or a business. You know, people like calling it, I have my business. Whatever size it is, whether it's micro, small, medium, or large, it is a business, because all these businesses that you see started small. Please register your business, formalize through registration with Uganda Registration Services Bureau, and get all the necessary licenses from the different licensing regimes that we have. But also, if you have your innovations, please protect them with URSB as well. And if you need to use your movable property, and which is more applicable to the women and the youth, like I mentioned, we have the security interest in movable property, and this allows you to access affordable credit through using movable property that can move, that is not fixed. We're used to fixed property, buildings, land, but not many women have buildings, have land titles. But these days things are changing. But we have phones. I think all the phases of iPhones. We have jewelry, we have crops, we have livestock, we have laptops, we have cars. You can use all these or any of these as collateral for you to access finance from Stanbic Bank, DFCU, and other commercial enterprises or commercial institutions. So formalize and access and utilize all the services that we have. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mercy. I was privileged to be part of the movable assets construction, what do you call that, to support women, because one of the things that came up was that women don't have land titles. Even those who had would not get spousal consent, so that was an alternative that was created. Miriam?
All right. Mine is just to say at the Capital Markets Authority, we are here to serve you. We are here to teach you if you want to be taught. We are here to empower you. We are a government entity. We have a responsibility and a mandate as far as capital markets is concerned. If you need information, we are there. We can come to your offices. We can speak to the staff. If you're a business and you would like more information about the opportunities available, come to us. If you're running a business that is, a sizable business that could actually exit through the capital markets, we also have a team that's ready to give you this information. So I hope that you will take this and that you will approach us, and we'll be really excited to see our capital markets grow. I also want to charge you. You know how they tell people, I charge you to go and be ambassadors. We want you to go and be ambassadors of capital markets. This market is ours. It's not for Mr. Abuiso. It's not for Mr. Kaliejira. It's for who? You tell your neighbor, it's our market. Yeah. Yes. And if we are to grow the capital markets, you're the one going to grow it. You're the one going to put your money there. You're the one going to list your business on it. So I want to charge you to be an ambassador of the capital markets. And next time you see an initial public offer, participate. Please don't be a spectator in this market. Be part of the market. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam. Jennifer?
Thank you. Mine is just to call upon entrepreneurs in the room. Information is very, very important. Personally, I've been on fact-finding mission or information search in as far as capital markets are concerned. You might want to know how did I even end in USE as a board member. It was part of my mission. And imagine I was told by a Nairobi contact when I was looking for how do people list their companies. And it's how I got back to Uganda to be told there's actually USE. And so for me, and I think information is important, but it must align with your vision and mission, because you must have a cause why you are in business. And then of course you have long-term vision in terms of what am I doing today, what do I want to do tomorrow, what about so many years ahead, that will align with all this. So today, this morning, we've had an opportunity to have a lot of information about capital markets, alternative financing, perhaps information we didn't know. All it takes is going back, to sit back and review our plans, strategic plans, or so many plans, so many years plans, and then we see how do we take advantage of these opportunities of financing. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Kathy.
Great, thank you. Mine is two things. One, I just want to encourage actually all entrepreneurs, don't be afraid to approach the banks, because there's an intimidation of, oh, it's a bank. But we're actually here to help you. Stanbic Bank has a whole team of 200 SME bankers who work with a portfolio of 150,000 SMEs. And for female entrepreneurs, we have a team under Stanbic for Her that has a good 45 team members who specifically pay attention to female entrepreneurs. What I'm urging you to do is come and access the affordable financing, and the interest rates are lower, which is what most people are interested to know. And I really, really want to encourage you, just like she said, seek more information. The more financial literacy you get, the better you're going to be doing in your business. And lastly, take advantage of our free business incubator. It is located in Kololo. You can check our social media websites. You can check any of our pages, even our official Stanbic page, to find out more information. We normally put out radio adverts as well as newspaper adverts when we are calling for applications for businesses who want to be trained for free about how to improve the way you run your SME. And you can even be a business as small as 5 people, maybe. Yes, yeah, the lowest number is 5. If you have 5 employees, you can apply. And it's an amazing program that has transformed a lot of businesses. It was set up 4 years ago, and we really, really want to encourage female entrepreneurs especially to apply. We don't get as many as the male-owned businesses. So we really, really want you to be a part of it. It will really change your journey, and we just want success for you, because it's once you're sustainable, we are also sustainable. So thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Susan?
Yes, I equally have 2 things. So I'll start by saying that my farm where I work currently is a farm that has gone into the business of educating people and actually ensuring that people have capital markets knowledge. The reason why people maybe hesitate, and I believe this is the biggest one, is because they do not understand the things, the products. They think that this is rocket science, that shares are rocket science, that government treasury bills and bonds are rocket science. I want to assure you, my sister here, they are not difficult. Even I'm going in Uganda, you get it? They are so easy. And if you come to a broker, we are going to go and break it down. For us, specifically, we have been running a program every morning where we blast out to all our clients to even just re-educate them, and they come in to the Teams or Zoom, and they come for 1 hour, and we are breaking down basics of what a bond is, what is a treasury bill, how we calculate up to what the central bank will give you. And that came from a place of we're trying also to bridge the gap, because it's also easy to go to the bank and then also the person here does not know what those instruments are, and they have only been put for a reserve few, the high net worth clients and everything. But yet we wanted to partake and have everyone come on board. And in 2020, in the midst of the pandemic, Paul Wiso led a team, technical team, collected from all the brokers in the market to just ensure that let us broaden the gap. Let it not just be Crested that is doing it. Let every broker come and start doing the same. And now we have in all brokerage firms, whether you go to Crested, UAP, Dan, Blair, Stanbic, Cheaper Cash is now our newest entrant, our newest baby. So you find that at all those places, you should be able to get this knowledge and be able to transfer it to the what? To yourselves. So you'll find that they'll go down, they'll break it down, make sure that you tell them, I want to know how much I return at the end of the what? Of the 6 months I'm investing for, at the end of the 1 year, and there'll be someone there. Let me tell you something, the only reason why you're being challenged right now is because you don't have information. And for us in our market, we have something called information asymmetry. If I see that you do not know, you're charged differently, isn't it? So you find that the investors who know more do not spend too much, but yet who doesn't know, you're not spending any, you're going to spend way more than you would ever imagine. And then you'll be like, Tebifuna, that's our language, isn't it? And then you'll also go and discourage other people who would have gone and what? And who would have sought that knowledge. So let me tell you something, these things are very easy. And for the women, I know we do not want to go any mathematical, but it's time. It is time. It is time, to be honest, it's time. No more playing games. We have to go into the mathematics, otherwise we shall not be able to have that money at the very end. We shall not have enough money to bequeath to our children. The word of God says that we leave our what? An inheritance for the what? For the children. So now which inheritance are you going to give if there is no what? Money at the end of the day? Jennifer has told us that she takes time to empower her people. Let's empower her people, and that's the second point, especially us who are market practitioners and wherever the Lord has placed us. I will give a personal testimony. Salma, stand up. First, no. You see Salma here, Nachivoneka. Katamba, I keep forgetting that one. Katamba, she used to work with me. I came a year after her at Crested Capital. So Salma used to be an analyst, and she also ran the fixed income department when it started. So when Salma started running the department, obviously she wanted also people to come alongside her. And Salma is the person that trained me. So when she trained me and left in 2016, I took over. And I also did not sit on myself. I made sure I hungered for those numbers. I mean, calculating a bond was like kidding. But right now, even when you wake me up, I'll calculate for you a bond anytime, any day. You get it? I think Paul has tested. I call him and I just throw him rates and he's thinking, But it's because she gave me an opportunity, isn't it? She did not be like, she was not like, she's going to take my space and everything. Remember, whenever you create space for someone, you're creating space for another person. Right now, I can comfortably tell you that our fixed income department in Crested Capital is run by women. My colleague is, the one I've handed over to is Melissa, with Olga and Laura, that are advising clients. So now, is it a man advising? It is a woman. That is why I'm saying I'm very angry, by the way, that us women, we like to leave it. When you go to the global markets team of Stanbic or ABSA, all the top banks, you'll find about only 3-4 women. Yet these things are not what? So actually for me, I even told my boss when I was like, this department will be a women-led what? Department. And it is. We have now an equities trader who is a lady who trades the shares. We have a research analyst who has also taken over, a lady. Our head of compliance is a lady. Our head of finance is a lady. And right now I'm the head of deal origination, so I'm in private equity. So I have left space. So the moment you don't create space for someone, that's you will stay there. You will not move. Ella women, do not think that if I empower her, she's going to take over me. Honestly, as you can see, all of us here, we have a different race marked out for what? For us. I cannot go and be a what? A logistics person like Jennifer. You get it? That's not where the Lord has called me. But the Lord has called me in the area of the capital markets and the economy of Uganda. And for me, that is my charge. I will not go into the communications perspective. That one, even I'm not a creative. But Catherine is a what? Is a creative in that space. Personally, one of my mentors by osmosis, Mercy, I used to see her at All Saints Church before she was even director, what? General. When I saw her being promoted, you could have seen my joy. You could think she knew me. When I heard that Sylvia Mulinge was coming to MTN, I was already bursting for joy at office. People were thinking, who is that lady? Me, I had already read about her before. How she raised from customer service to the C-suite. You get it? So let me tell you something. We are the ones who are putting ourselves behind. Me, my favorite verse in the Bible says that good and my faithful servant enter yours. Those are the words I want to hear from my Father. Now, what are you going to be a good and faithful servant? If you're the one who puts other people down and you're not growing, and the women empowerment programs that have been set up by our fellow women mentors, we do not join them. Or when they ask for some kind of money or facilitation, like I'm sent a nyingi, as in like those things, you get it, eh? The capital markets is a very beautiful space. These things are not hard. Me, I can assure you, come at least and make an appointment with me to just at least take you through, and I break down for you the calculation. It will not be hard at all. These things are easy. Yeah? Thank you.
Susan, that was so beautifully said. Thank you so much. So you can see Susan is already living the S of the ESG, okay? Promoting other women, holding others, okay? Like she said, and like I said earlier, everyone is a guru in their space. I keep telling people, if you eat soil, eat it so well. So when they come to, you're the go-to person for eating soil. Whatever it is, we've seen this, okay? If you're so good in your space, people will come to you, not you going to them. So thank you, ladies. That was very interesting. So I'm going to open the floor for questions to our panel. The microphone. Who's moving the microphone? Okay, I guess we'll have a set of questions, then they'll answer at once. There's someone here with a hand up.
Thank you very much, ladies. I just have just 3 questions, and I'll be very brief. My first question goes to Jennifer. I'm very interested in knowing the percentage of women in the organization, because I know it's different to be a women-led company, but also when you have like 80% of men being the ones that are employed, and it's the woman making the decisions. I also want to know, on behalf of the rural women, us who come from in rural areas or who are investors out there, the business incubation program for Stanbic Bank is in Kololo, and I'm in Rwanda district, but I don't even have transport to come in Kampala. But I'm an investor where the money is in the village, and I'm very interested to know what are you doing for the rural women to make sure they come on board. My last question is to all of us. So we have had these opportunities, and maybe we are here in Serena, and there are also other factors that make us not invest. What are we doing on factors that affect women investment? Factors like GBV, the things that frustrate women in families. Factors like climate change, the things that are also a hindrance to our investment. I'm interested in knowing what the women out there are doing and how we can be able to solve those key things that hinder us from investing. Because if I want to invest and my husband is saying, nakugamba, nze musajja wano, any decision to do with money, it's me who is supposed to like take it up. So there are those factors that are affecting so many women out there, especially in rural areas where some of us come from and are trying to invest our money. So what are we doing about that, and how can we be able to help so many women out there? Thank you.
Thank you. You didn't tell us your name. Kindly tell us your name and where you're from.
My name is Sylvia Nakakembo, and I'm from Rwanda district.
Okay, thank you, Sylvia. Any other questions? We have 2 hands there.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I want to thank the UN Women, I think Uganda Securities Exchange, for this program. I'm honored to be here and learn something new from you and also the ladies on the panel. Thank you for sharing yourselves with us this morning, and I've seen some of you in other forums, so yeah, I believe the things our MC is saying. My first question goes to Mrs. Kainowisho from the Director General of Uganda Registration Services Bureau. And I just wanted to know, what doors does a business name registration open for you? I happen to participate in community initiatives where we are skilling women, and we're convincing them that that's a good way to go. But many times I raise the business name, but I cannot go further than saying, yeah, you're registered. What doors will it open for them if they go that direction? My second question goes to Kathy. Yes, ESG is something that's coming up and very necessary for businesses, but we know it actually costs an extra buck money to any business. What are the tips you can give small businesses, startups? I believe the majority of us are startups here, apart from Jennifer, who I've seen on Business Garage. Yeah, and I now follow her because I learned a lot when she presented there. So what tips can you give us as startups we can do to start incorporating ESG in our businesses? Then my final question goes to Miss Jennifer, to UK. Your business has lasted 26 years. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Encourage some of us, because yeah, we are right at the beginning, but we are also now thinking we can reach 26. Thank you. Yeah.
Name, please. Your name.
Sorry. Finally, my name is Mebu Magezi.
Okay.
I own a business, a small business that produces processes dairy alternatives from plants, basically seeds and nuts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mabel. Next.
Well, my names are Achayo Kevin. I have 2 questions. The first question goes to the Stanbic representative. She has talked of the many things that they have for women, and I happen to participate in one of them. Although I would love to know whether there is a system of following up the women who have participated in those programs, because I, for one, haven't been reached to. So, and then also, is there a way of getting to those women in the community who cannot come to the incubator? No, I have not been part of the incubator, but I attended the Women in Business training. Yes, I attended it. And of course, out of that, we also raised that question, because at times you find that some of us have women group that we deal with, but and yet cannot come to the incubator. Say, for example, for me, I am a CEO and director of Modasha Makeup, but I have a group of, I do a community project, which is meant for building esteem of the women in the communities. And I get very many invites in different communities, and that would also be an opportunity of empowerment for them to get financial literacy. But yet you find that some of those women cannot come to the incubator, considering maybe the businesses they do. Some of them are stay-home mothers, they have children, they have small businesses around their home. Because, say, for example, when we were attending the Women in Business training, it's a full-time whole day training, and yet we could maybe have a half-day training or something that is short-term, that doesn't take a very long period, and it is easily accessible because there are many people out there who are interested in these programs. And then also, my second question is about registration. I don't know how long it really takes for someone to register maybe a product. From personal experience, I have a product that I've been trying to register for a patent. I first applied for a utility model, then I had to upgrade to a patent. But there's been a lot of delay because when you call your legal representative, they tell you that the examiner is on a study holiday. So then you have to pause and put on hold. So for me, that really beat my understanding. I was wondering if we can't move forward because there is only one examiner or two. You have to put your business or whatever thing you intend to do on hold. So it really also discourages us because at times you're now wondering what next. You want to maybe push for this product to come in the market. You've done your market research, you've done your product testing, but because you can't expose what you have before finalizing the registration processes, and now they're telling you the examiner is on a study holiday, so you have to wait for them to come back. I don't know how long it takes. Maybe if you could clarify on that so that the other ladies in the room and out there who intend to register the products would know a time frame to help them be guided on what to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin. I'll take one more hand. I'm going to ask, in the interest of time, we promised to get you out of here by 11. I will take one question from each person. There's a hand there.
Hello, my name is Claire Ainamani. I have quite a number of questions, but I'm going to choose one that is.
Please choose one.
Yeah. So I'm very interested in the whole securities and the bonds and all that. And this training has actually been really nice and informative. But I'm looking at, I know most people have been talking about the woman in the community, the rural, that cannot access these, what we have right now. And I can assure you, I'm in so many saving groups, so many small cooperatives, you know, women, wherever they say you can put your money and at the end of there you get something, we rush there. But these people would love to have these trainings because almost every single person would want to know, okay, if I put my money here, at the end of the year, how much am I getting? And it's even more secure with the securities and the bonds. So what have you done to actually reach this grassroots person? I come from Kawale and there are so many schemes that have come up and people have been cheated into, you know, all those things. So it takes guts for a woman to actually come into a group. It's actually easier, I think, to approach it in a group-based and cooperative-based because these women trust the groups they are in. And when you get to the grassroots and train these women in those groups, there's actually more that you can get from there because these are the people, forget us in Kampala, these are the people that actually have money and they want to invest the money, they want to see their money grow. And for the women there, much as they are having so many things that are affecting them, being in a cooperative is a secure space for their money. So I don't know what you are doing to actually reach these women at the grassroots and even in Kampala. You know, all these small groups that people are saving money in and trying to, you know, get an interest at the end of the year, get something. What are you doing to reach them and how accessible are the trainings, the trainings and you know, these basically to those women.
Thank you, Claire. I think I had the hand there. One more, then we'll do the first set of questions. Please keep it under 1 minute.
Good morning. I think it's good afternoon now.
No, still good morning.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for this event. I'm so happy to be here. I'm called Anox Mujisha. I'm a finance manager in a male-dominated industry of civil engineering. I work in Dynaco Limited. We build bridges connecting Uganda together. And my question goes to Susan. I have an account in Crested Capital, and for me, when I left campus, I was like a lover of passive income, of let me focus on my job while I have something where I don't have to own a shop and put someone and have these challenges of running it. As like maybe I can earn money while I am even focusing on my career. And I think I met with someone whom I was expecting to get guidance on where to invest at any particular time, which companies are profitable, you know. And someone told me, you know, we cannot make those decisions for you. So for me right now, we have companies like Umeme. We don't know where the concessions are heading. Would you advise people on where to put their money at a particular time? Which companies are more profitable and which ones are not? Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't get your name.
Oh, Anox Mujisha.
Anox Mukisha. Thank you, Anox. I'm told there's someone who's been putting up their hand. Sorry, I couldn't see you. She was among the first people, but we'll take that. I know I've changed positions 3 times of the last one, but that's the last one. I'm not changing again.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Sylvia Chomhendo Omolo. I work with the Institute for Social Transformation. The other questions have been asked, so I'll not go that end. Maybe I'll pass on this particular question to Mercy. You talked about formalizing business. And then we have a challenge. Most of the women, especially those ones in the informal sector, most of their businesses, of course, are not formalized. And it's not that they do not want to formalize business. For sure, there is no one who would not want to formalize a business. But a challenge we have is, actually, I had an experience shared by one woman of recent. We were trying to interest the women to be suppliers in my organization. And then I asked the lady, she had a company name, the enterprise name. And then I said, please, could you give me your account number? And the lady said, unfortunately, my account from the day I opened, I tried it 1 year. When I saw I was spending a lot of money in taxes, then the bank charges, I decided to do what? To return back to informality kind of operation. So I'm just imagining, I know, yes, as URSB, your role is to register, but I think you're also a key stakeholder in guiding government on what would work for some of these SMEs. How are they addressing the challenges these SMEs are facing so that they do not appear and disappear? And then, yes, it's true that there are benefits of formalizing business, but have you also tried to look at some of what are these things women are facing after formalizing that make them think like running away and regretting why they should have stayed the way they were? So I think much as we are fronting for formalizing, we should also try to see how we can address the challenges around, and then trying to put in place conditions and terms that are favorable for them to remain operational, than registering today and then in 1 year before they celebrate their birthday, they are already disappearing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We'll take the first set of questions. Mercy, we'll start with you. I guess you'll address all those that have been directed to you.
Thank you, Damali, and thank you for the questions. The first question to me was, I think the lady has taped out, on the doors to business registration. Is she coming back? So okay, she asked about the doors that business registration opens. I want to state that business registration does not only open doors, but it also opens windows, ventilators, and rooftops. So In other words, there are so many benefits that come with registration. First of all, your business identity. Second, business sustainability. You've seen businesses that stay for years. We have the first business that was registered in Uganda in 1912, and this business is still operational and active. If you want to trade across borders, you need to be registered. If you want to protect your brand name, you need to be registered. If you want to access money from Stanbic Bank or DFCU, you need to be registered. If you want to start a mobile money business, you need to be registered. I mean, all these are benefits. And so when you weigh the benefits and costs, then you see that you have to be registered and you have no option. Dealing in procurement, supplying goods and services, all that, you need to be registered. Not every business or signpost that you see on the street is registered. Many are pretending to be registered, and they are not. So register because of the benefits. The second question was on registration of products. On registration of products. Products and processes can be registered in different ways. You may register your product as a trademark. You may register your service as a service mark. You may register a process or even a product as a design or as a patent or utility model, depending on what it is. The question was the delays in registration. Registration takes different forms. There's national registration through the Uganda Uganda Registration Services Bureau, which is the National Intellectual Property Office, where you make an application is examined, an application is published in the Gazette, an application is registered if there's no objection. So like a 3-step process. If it is if you want to register beyond Uganda, there's also a procedure, because we are parties and signatories to different protocols, agreements, and treaties. You have to go through our office still, and we help you to register through the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization. If you want to go global, it is also done through our office, but you register with the World Intellectual Property Organization. So there are different steps of registration, because registration of any product or trademark or intellectual property is territorial in nature. You have to protect within the territories of that country or through the member state organization. So I need to know more information who you use, because many a times people use third parties. And third parties are in different categories. Third parties that have knowledge on registration, but we also have middlemen and women that are con artists that will take your money and pretend that the process is being delayed at URSB. We have standard operating procedures on what should be done. And our processes are ongoing, constant. Whether a person is on leave, whether maternity or paternity or study leave, we are here and work is going on. So there's never any excuse that somebody is on leave. So that is regrettable that whoever told you was lying to you, because URSB is always operational and we have all the human resources that serve whatsoever. And it's the first time I'm actually hearing such an excuse. So that is not URSB. It could be the third party that you're using or another entity. And we'll need, I have a team from URSB that will take your number, and I can also take your number, and we help you to register. We're here to facilitate registration as much as possible. And where you have not sure of the information, you contact us. We have a WhatsApp number that is operational. We have a call center. We have a website, emails that are active, and we have client relations officers that are there to attend to unsuspecting members of the public. Many members of the public have been conned. Many members of the public have been lied to on the processes because of the lack of knowledge. So we are here to attend to you and facilitate your registration. The third and last one was the challenges of formalization and the passionate question on whether we look at only registration and do not take into consideration the challenges. Everything comes with costs and benefits, colleagues. Everything on earth has its pros and cons. Everything has its challenges. So yes, you may register. Of course, when you register, you have to be identified. You have to. And if you're making profit, you have to pay the taxes. But URA has been giving tax education, has been doing a lot of advocacy on who qualifies to pay tax. On the TIN registrations, you can always approach them for further guidance. But as far as registration is concerned, the formalization landscape has different players. Formalization has different variables, from registration for legal existence, where we come in as Uganda Registration Services Bureau. You register for legal existence. You have a certificate of registration as conclusive evidence of ownership of that business or name. And then after registration with URSB, you have the necessary applicable licenses. If you're in the education sector, you'll be expected to have a license. If you're in the medical field, a practicing certificate. If you're in the legal field, a practicing certificate. If you're a hospital, you need licenses or trading licenses if you're in different cities or local government. So there are different licenses that accrue, and those are part of the formality journey. But when you're having challenges, because these are personal businesses, you come into the different regulators to support you with information that is available. Otherwise, a business will start and will fail just because, not because of government, not because of the regulators, not because of the different ministries, departments and agencies, but because you have failed to put in place the corporate governance structures, for example. No, you have a business, no accountability. You employ only relatives that are inexperienced and they are sucking your business. You don't have any strategic plan. You don't have any policies that regulate you. The business is existing at the mercy of God. Even you don't have God, by the way, in that business. So the business is just existing far. And then when it fails, people blame the government. So we have to first look at the internal micro issues, the macro issues around it, and also the legal and regulatory challenges that come with it. So you have to do a 360 degrees assessment on your business. But we have established, because we have just come out of COVID, and we also handle business rescue as part of our mandate in terms of insolvency. We help companies to recover and be rescued. And our establishment and our findings are many of these businesses are failing because of self-inflicted challenges. You take a loan, you're not sure of how you're going to source it, and it fails. You employ so-and-so's daughter just because it's your cousin, or who has no clue on accounts, but they are managing your accounts, your books of accounts. You don't open an account, you don't separate your capital and profit, and somebody, I think, said, you're eating your capital. I think it was Damali in her opening statements. You're eating your capital. You can't separate. So there must be a separation principle. There must be training in accountancy. You must make it intentional that as you start your business, please train on how to sustain your business. And that's why you see family empires are collapsing, family businesses are collapsing, and because people are not learning and everybody's taking advantage of the weaknesses in businesses. But we are here to facilitate and support the registration and licensing regimes of this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mercy. I'll go to Kathy. Kathy had prior engagement, so she will leave us after her submission.
Thank you very
Kathy,
much.
over to you.
Okay, I'll try and just summarize. There was a question about regional offices. Stanbic Business Incubator has 4 regional offices, one in Hoima, Mbale, Gulu, and obviously the central one is for Kampala. So the reason we started with 1 center per region is because we were starting it as a pilot a year ago. It's now picking up. So you'll hear more advertising because we had to do recruitment of trainers and get implementing partners to support us. So you're going to be hearing more about it, but they're operational. so that we can try and reach the communities. It was the first thing we recognized when we started the incubator training. People upcountry wanted to gain from it, so we've started the centers and they're operational and running. So we'll do a bit more advertising for people who want to go there. Then on also for the women in business training, because we have 80 branches across the country, we're able to conduct the Stanbic Voha trainings at the different branches. So wherever you go, you can just ask, except there's normally a schedule for how the teams go around. So if you need any support in any of the, I mean, we have 80 branches everywhere. So there's a team that actually do community mobilization, and they also work with the teams who do our SACCO proposition, because we lend to SACCOs as well. So we try to do those community engagements together, so we can do those women in business financial literacy sessions. So we have those as well up country, which is how we're trying to reach the women at a local level. Then on tips for business, the one thing I'll say is ESG considerations should not be seen as a huge investment, especially for SMEs, from a perspective that innovation doesn't have to cost you too much. It could be as simple as, let's take the social aspect. For example, if Jennifer, or even a smaller business than Jennifer's, wanted to hire more women in their business, it's not because the women are more expensive than the men. You're just setting a priority that you want to empower women. It's a sustainability and a social impact thing for you. That's it. If you want them to be doing your shea butter and you want more women to get employment, if you're doing beads, if you're doing jewelry, and you want more women, that's a sustainability element from a social impact perspective, that it's women you want to employ. That doesn't mean that they need to cost you more than the men. So that it's about being smart about purpose, which is what she mentioned. What's your purpose in what you're doing that's sustainability or ESG related, that you're trying to improve? Environmentally, some products, depending on which type of business you're in, you've seen, like I mentioned with the beading and jewelry. If you're in jewelry business and you used to import from China, and you've decided you want to create environmentally friendly products, some of these products are available locally, and they don't have to cost more than what you're importing. So it's about an assessment of what is your purpose for what you're trying to change, and does innovation necessarily mean a higher cost? It may not be. It's just about being smart, and it's really about understanding your goal and your mission in that environmental space, or in that social space, or even doing governance. Like she mentioned, registering and all of that doesn't cost too much money. Formalizing isn't a lot of money, because even in the end, if you're not formal and you get your governance wrong, it's going to cost you more. Yeah, so innovation in environment, social or governance aspects should not necessarily mean, it's very expensive. It just means innovative thinking. It's about being creative. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. I have one more question for you before you can leave. The microphone. The gentleman with the microphone, kindly just pass it on to her before Kathy leaves.
Thank you so much. Sorry about that. Kathy, before you leave, I want to appreciate Stanbic Bank for setting up all that to educate not only the women but the business community. I have one question for you. After giving them all that information, what next? Do you support them? Do you give them loans? You very much know us women, we are in business but we do not have fixed assets. Do you support these women with whatever they have in form of collateral? I know banks cannot lend without securing their loans, but how do you support women? Do you have specific products for without land as collateral? Could it be their stock or anything? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We do have a solution to that. So for the businesses that go through training, they are linked to the banking team. We have an SME banking team who actually are part of the trainings to educate the businesses on what type of solutions we have. Even things that people weren't aware of, like letters of guarantee or all other things that support your businesses, we are not necessarily asking for secured loans. We don't need some collateral for some solutions. So it's really the education piece which is important, which is why, at least from the women in business, we will actually take time to explain to you what kind of products would be available for whichever type of business. And because SMEs are wide range, we actually sometimes have to tailor for you what you really need. And it's not necessarily because you have to give your land title or anything. There are other forms of security, but some of them also go as unsecured loans. So the option is there. But we're very happy to engage and and give you more information. I think that's our part to educate. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. I think you can leave at liberty. Kathy had a prior engagement. She had told us, so she had to leave. Okay, thank you, Kathy. Thank you for carrying that mantle so high. Thank you. Okay. I think we had Miriam. Did you have any questions to you, or any you are going to answer?
Yes, there was one question about investor education in the rural areas. And yes, we do investor education outside Kampala. All you need to do is to contact the Capital Markets Authority. We have a team that deals with that.
Thank you. Maybe in line with what she said, and I think they've all alluded to that. They might have their offices, they might look that they are far away, but they are closer than you think. Testimony to that. All you have to do is call them and they'll send you a team. Okay? Get yourself in groups, get those women groups you're talking about, because you're in touch with them. Get any of these organizations. They have teams that go to the field. I can attest to that. Jennifer?
Yeah, I had two questions. One is about the percentage or composition of my employees, with how many are women and how many are men. On management level, 60%, more than 60%, because I have 5 management team. 4 of them are women, including myself. And so that means we have only 1 man finance manager. And on the other category of employees, it's a 50-50, the permanent staff. But of course, the biggest challenge we have, being a transport company, the drivers become dominant in terms of male. I am seeing a very slow response of women driving long route trucks. And so there we have definitely dominantly men. On the casual side, again, because of the nature of work we do, where I said we have between 350 to 400 semi-skilled and non-skilled laborers, the majority are men, unfortunately, because they do the manual work. And so that is the composition. But it's my intention on management level that I have more women than men. And it actually used to be even in the other cadres, but as we diversify into different services, it becomes challenging to have that intentional more numbers. The other question was on the where am I going? I had already mentioned it, though, basically. I think I'm going to, I want to grow. I have very high appetite of growth. And every other time when I look around, there is a new business idea for some reason. And so that keeps me running in terms of growth, of aspirations, where am I going? So I want to definitely grow in terms of different products I'm doing. I want to invest in warehousing, because that becomes a one-stop center for logistics. I want to also, like I told you, some of these ventures, again, require much more capital. And that's why I told you I'm on mission, looking for information. How do I grow? Because that is very critical. And again, I am so passionate about mentorship and coaching in business. And so for me, I want to look at it that is going to be my major area of playing. And so in as far as logistics is concerned, I am already mentoring my children. 2 of our children are in the business already. And so definitely when she talked about exit strategy, perhaps that is a conversation we are going to have in depth, so that then I can do what I'm passionate about in my late years of life. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Susan.
Yes, I think I have a question from Anox. So Anox, the person who told you that yes, you have to decide on your own, yes, had a valid answer there, because as Miriam will also confirm, and Paul, is that as market practitioners, we can advise and we can recommend brokerage firms, but the ultimate decision of where the money finally goes, that is your decision. The other place where that will not, now for what you really want, you want someone to really make those decisions for you, would ultimately be as a unit trust fund manager. Because for the unit trust, you're just buying units. So ultimately where the money goes is on them, because they have their structure on where they invest their money, so you do not have that power. However, you've given them the power to make the decisions on your behalf. Whereas the members of the Uganda Securities Exchange, that's why you see we always have those disclaimers, licensed by, you get it, is ultimately we can give recommendations and advice, and we tell you now, and that's why those reports are very important. When you see them, you look at the body, you also click, and so we are able to see even how many people are opening up the reports to see that you are reading that actually now Umeme is on a trajectory. Of course, we are waiting on our concession. The stand and the recommendation has been, if you are to buy, you're buying with that not as a guarantee for you for long-term investment. So you as an investor, you should be like, oh my God, if I put my money in Umeme, then that means I'm only investing in a company that has until 2025. So that means by 2025, if they are paying out, for example, this year they paid out 54 shillings per share on a dividend. And I'm like, is that, by 2025, will I have gotten out at least my initial investment? So those are the things, at least we make sure that you have all the information. But ultimately, even for MTN even we did a dividend return since listing last year now, because we are going into the 11th October next week. They'll be making 1 year having come to the market, and we are already informing the clients of how much of the dividend they have now been receiving and what is the value back to them as shareholders. So you need to know that, hey, when I receive this information, by the way, for MTN, I kind of have to be an investor for about more than 5 years to break even. So ultimately, we can recommend and advise, but you are the one who ultimately says, you know what, Susan, I've sent 5 million shillings, let it be towards Umeme. If you don't want any power of making those decisions, then it's better you invest in a fund, because the fund just gives you a bottom line return. So whether they make a very hefty profits and what for you, just take the fraction of what they have made. Yeah, so I think those are the two things that we have to wait. But I'm going to speak to you after this as well. For the bond market, that one even I can take risks on your behalf. Yes, because that one I'm guaranteed the government will pay us the money. But the share side, that one no one is going to stick out their neck for you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Susan. So we'll go into the second set of questions. I do have some online questions. I will take those first. Lillian Joy Kusima says, Dear Susan, do we have an option of depositing on our ACD using mobile money? If yes, kindly guide. Thank you. Then Ali Twaha, my question goes to USE or CMA. Of the more than 74,000 opened during the IPO, how many were by women? Broadly, you may share the percentage of women who hold a share accounts at the stock market. That was Ali Twaha. Hanifa Kasoma, what is a unit trust? Okay, and then Twije Darlington. Good morning, I'm Twije from Kanungu District. My question goes to Namaganda Susan. First of all, I'm grateful for all the assistance she's provided to me. She's been providing to me. My question is, when are they, Crested Capital, going to also give us Zoom trainings about share trading as they've been doing with the bonds and bills? Thank you. That's what I have online so far. Any more questions? It's going to be the last round of questions. I have a hand there. One. Oh, you're the one who had many questions. Okay, 1 minute.
My question. Yes, my question goes to, I keep forgetting her name, about the exit mechanisms. And I'm very... interested in this, much as I am still very young. I have found that in Uganda, both the entrepreneurs and businesses, the entrepreneurs and companies, we do not actually look at exit mechanisms as employees and as entrepreneurs. How would you encourage a woman in business to plan for this exit mechanism? You're seated next to Jennifer. She said she's mentoring her children, and you had mentioned that sometimes you'll find your children are not interested and things like this. How do you actually plan for an exit mechanism, both in the workplace and even in the business, if you're a business owner? Thank you.
Any others? Yes, ma'am. We're getting the same people asking questions. Are they the only ones paying attention?
Thank you again. I think as young women in Uganda, we have these pressures of while you have a job, you have to own a business somewhere. And I have seen my friends, you know, you like end up failing at both. You're failing at your job and you're failing at the business that you opened up in the suburbs of Kampala. So is it the only way to growth? Is it the only way, or you can as well, you know, make money or earn your income from your employment and invest it and, you know, become an investor instead of opening business? So for me, I would like, maybe we are not all like a Unifright, you know, CEO, that she will manage and love what she does. Maybe you are in a finance department or in a field and you love it, but then there's this pressure that comes from society that, you know, you have to have that side hustle, as it is called in this economy. So is it are we getting comfortable for some of us who have not, you know, looked so much beyond in owning that side hustle? Or you can as well become an investor and grow yourself and, you know, the people around you. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. I hope I have your name right. Anne, that's a very pertinent question. Yeah? I deal with women in business, and like I said, I'm privileged to deal with all spectrums, and that usually comes up especially for the employed person. I don't know who on the panel will take that, Mercy, but I also speak to it after Mercy. I think that's it for the questions. I'm going to give, okay, one more, and then we'll close the Q&A.
It will be a brief one, and it goes to Mercy. After, I think it was Jennifer who talked about giving Caesar what belongs to him. After we have registered, the other person that comes in usually is the URA. Fortunately or unfortunately, maybe we don't have a representative. And that's why maybe Mercy could guide. When we are registering, most importantly, let's say business name, and there is more than one person. When you're registering and there is more than one person in that business, as part of the business, it is taken as a partnership. But when you get to URA to get that TIN and all those things, I think there is a problem, because there is either sole proprietorship or you get one as a company. But then when you were registering in the first place, it was a business name. I don't know if there is, because I've been a victim of that before, and usually the reason I am given, I've gone to different URA people, and they tell you it's either sole proprietorship or a company. If it's more than one person, it's taken as a company or a sole proprietorship. So can't a business name be registered with more than one person? And if so, how do we go about the tax thing and all that? Thank you.
Okay, over to the panel. Mercy.
Thank you, Tamali. Yes, the question of is it mandatory for one to start a business? Can one survive without a business? I think it's about choices. It's about personal decisions, whether to take the right or left, whether to put on color blue or black. And Susan made it clear when she said that she's good in some spaces and not good in marketing, but you are lying. You're good at marketing as well. If you didn't know, I'm telling you, you're good at marketing, communication. I mean, we can't be in all spaces. And not everybody's interested in doing business. But we are speaking to that person that may be running a business and is not registered, or has a business idea, or wants to try it out. It's also good to try it, give it the best. If it fails, you give it up, but don't give it up until you have tried and tried. So not everybody should start a business, but in the event that you have a business, register it. And in the event that you have a business idea, and you have the intuition, by the way, God speaks to you in many ways and will show you. But if you feel you're one person that will survive on salary up to your retirement age of 60, and by that time you would have invested in treasury bills or bonds or IPOs, whatever, or physical assets, it is okay. But it's also important that you get financial advisors. Let these financial advisors get you and pick your interest. If your interest is not in business, there's somewhere else you can put your investment to make you more investment. Invest your money where it can make you more money as well. Like the cash flow contract, make money while you sleep. Money can make for you more money even without going into opening a shop, vending goods, doing what. So there are different ways of investing your money, and business registration or starting a business is one of the million ways of investing or your money. The question to do with sole proprietorship and partnerships. Well, a sole proprietorship means that you're one person registering a business, and one person can register either business name under the business names law, or a company, a single member company, under the company's law. So that's okay. It's acceptable. So is not making any mistake. It's okay. And if you can also, 2 or more people can register a business name, but that if you register under the business names law, it becomes or a partnership. It becomes you have to submit a partnership deed. You have to do a partnership agreement, a partnership deed if you're more than one person and below 20. Because for a partnership, you have to be between 2 and 20 people. So URA is right to ask for more documents on partnership deeds, and or also encouraging the individual tax identification 6 or 10 numbers for the members in that business name or company. So they are right. You just need to engage them further to get more information on the taxation. But otherwise, there are different modes of registration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mercy. Miriam, did you have a question? To you,
Yes.
directed to you?
Yes. There was a question on exit. I think the point here is when you're running a business, you have to have a plan of how that business is going to continue. And that's why we are talking about sustainability. Okay. Now, as you run that business, if you make your business attractive, if you do some of the things Mercy has been mentioning here, things like patents and trademarks, a lot of businesses in Uganda don't have those. And yet, they've come up with very original ideas that need to be patented. A lot of people have their logos, you know, have been completely stolen from them. Okay? They have no trademarks, isn't it? You just think about, for example, URLs. Okay? There are people who run programs and they've not even bothered to go and buy a URL for that. Okay? But you're running certain programs and you should have the domain names. Okay? Those are just simple things. What are you doing? You're adding value to your business. Because the business is not just about cash flow. It's not just about products. It's about how, if I bought your business, how am I sure that the person next door is not going to take it from me? It's the protection that you give your business. So in businesses, we need advisors. You need to have lawyers who give you this advice. You need to have financial advisors in the business. Some people are, like we said, eating the money from the business because they have no financial advisors, isn't it? If you had a financial advisor that would be telling you that you have so much money sitting in the bank, maybe you need to go and buy bonds. Who said that shares can't be bought by companies? Who said that debt instruments can't be owned by companies? So we need to make sure that we have the right advisors. Now, at the point where the business has to consider, maybe the owners are no longer interested in running the business because they have, some people are just natural entrepreneurs. You heard Jennifer saying she'll start something else. So she's not even done. She has other ideas, isn't it? So at the end of the day, if you were to exit the business, the reason you exit through the capital markets is for what we call price discovery and transparency. Okay? Because when you list on an exchange, the forces of demand and supply, isn't it? We are going to see the true value of your business. That's why it's possible to have a high rate at the initial public offer, and then you put it on the exchange, and people now are showing you the true value of your shares after analyzing the books. So you do that for price discovery. You do that for transparency. There are many benefits of being listed on an exchange. However, there are people who might want to buy your business through private means. There are people who are eyeing her business and maybe they want to buy the business, isn't it? So you make your your business ready so that at the point you want to exit, you can exit. The other thing we have also here is what we call the founder syndrome, isn't it? The founder doesn't want to let go of the thing. They are the board chairman, the CEO, and the finance manager. There's no board. There are challenges of family-owned businesses. Decisions are made where? In the bedroom, isn't it? They plan to fire the finance manager at midnight. Okay? These are real governance issues. So, formalization, step one. Governance, step two. Very important, having people who can give you direction. There are so many people who are brilliant entrepreneurs, but they don't have a governing body. Policies, systems. If you've done all that, the value on your business is going to be evident. And people will be calling you to buy your business at the time you're interested. And the true value, when we do a valuation of your company, that value will come out. And then you can choose how you exit, of course, based on the legal advice at that time.
Thank you. Miriam, there's a question from Ali Twaha about, it was either USC or CMA, of the 74,000 opened during the IPO. How many were women? That would be Paul. Paul, someone online is asking, of the 74,000 opened, how many were women? Broadly, may you share the percentage of women who hold share accounts at the stock market? Am I ambushing you? Out of the 74. Okay. Paul says there are 25,000 women out of the 130,000. What percentage is that? Where are the mathematicians who Susan talked about? Okay. Thank you. Jennifer, you had a question? Outstanding.
A supplementary comment on value of registration, formalization, professional management of a business. And then, of course, most of the time, the people avoid taxation at the expense of other benefits. One of the benefits for me, I really think that people underplay is the growth aspects. There are certain opportunities we are not going to be able to partake if we are not professionally managed. And so definitely if we want to remain informal, you can enjoy your smaller benefits of being informal by avoiding taxes, but there are bigger opportunities you are going to miss out. So for me, I think that is something very, very important that we need to look at. In my industry, there's a time when we were implementing that curriculum of training clearing agents way back to 005, and were appealing to members to come for training. Most of them, those are the things they were saying. So we told them, look, think about the bigger picture of your business. There are certain things you cannot avoid doing. One is training. Two is formalization and professional management of your business. There are certain opportunities. Then we come, like in different sectors or women groups, we say, we want to advocate for a percentage of government procurement to be, reinforced for women. Where are they going to find you when you are not formalized? So we need to align and adhere to certain basics that we must be able to do in order to grow. Actually, for me, the importance is, how do we want to grow? We cannot grow if we want to be informal.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'd like to give an example to that aspect. We were doing business development for a small group of, they're called GALPAs, it's in the water and sanitation, and they were illegal. They would be chased by KCCA and environment, NEMA, all the time. So I think they said, now, why don't we just get these ones and formalize them? So as usual, we called on URSB, Mercy sent us a team. We called on URA, they sent us a team. We called on NEMA, they gave us someone. We called on National Water. And guess what? All these bodies were willing to actually license these. Now it gets better. They didn't even have a category under KCCA. And guess what? A paper was done and a process, and they gave them a category to get paid. They formed an association and they started. They were formalized. And as we speak, do you know where their contracts come from? National Water, KCCA. I'm telling you that the very regulators, they were running away from who are impounding them. And they get big contracts. And they have good cash flow. And they pay their taxes. So Jennifer, what she said is very key. We might be running away from URA, when we don't even know. URA didn't even know how to tax these people because they were always under the radar. We know GALPAs. GALPAs are the small version of cesspool emptiers. Probably most of you don't even know them. You've seen those butukutukus carrying drums. Okay, they are carrying fecal sludge in there. Okay, and you probably don't know. So they are under the radar, no one knows them. But now it's a force that is coming up, and they are funded by the water and sanitation DFIs in this space. So Jennifer, thank you for that. So let's, like she said, let's get out of that informality and go above the line. Susan?
So I had about 3 questions. So someone asked what a unit trust is.
Yes.
It's simply an investment vehicle or a pool where investors, you and I, can be able to bring our funds and have someone investing them for us. In our market, we have Stanbic Bank. Salma is the head of the Stanbic Fund, so she's here. Please consult her at the tail end. We have UAP. Most of the some of the insurance companies like Zeno, UAP, Sanlam have these licenses, and they are mandated to do that. So what they do is that they get the money, then they invest in 4 funds. So there is a money market fund. So basically there they'll invest in treasury bills or fixed deposits. So those are the people that are saying, for me, under 1 year, I want my money. Then there are those who say, I would want to invest in an equity fund. Those clients are saying that me, I'm a risk taker. I want to invest in a fund that invests in shares, basically, so that they can be able to earn from the dividends that will be accruing to that fund. Then there is a balanced fund which has both the shares and also the government securities, and that one has the what, the short term, and of course the shares cannot have a time limit to them, because you do not know when they will generate a return for you. Then we have the umbrella fund, and that's the one that pension firms really prefer, because those ones now really stretch into the long-term bonds, like 20-year bonds. So here you're telling your fund that I'm actually willing to give you my money for more than 5 years. What I need is for you to compound my interest every single month and return to me. So that is what a unit trust does. And they are key market players for us. They're also licensed by the Capital Markets Authority. And what I would advise every investor out there, I know that some of us have become tech savvy. Yes, it's very good. Like Zeno has a tech initiative. I'm seeing Capital Savvy for the first time. I'm even going to talk to them after this. I really want to, yes, to find out. But you find that for the very first time before you invest, at least visit the offices of all these brokers and the fund managers. Sit them, look them in the eye, and let them, because you're giving them your money. And these are your lifetime savings. Because remember, you've already spent, and now you want to save away. So go there for the very first time, meet with them. In fact, get the contact person of the person you'll be communicating with on a full-time basis, and then you can now go online. And that's what brings me to my next question. They say that money, is it connected with the SCD? Now, currently, we have something that is in pilot called the direct...
Susan, what is SCD?
Sorry.
For those who don't know.
The ones who don't know, sorry. Securities Central Depository Account. This is an account. It looks like it's like a bank account, how you'd have a bank account for your money. But this one is specifically for your shares and for your government treasury bills and what? And bonds. It's holding the intangible assets, the things that cannot be held. You can hold a land title and you can visit the land. But these shares are intangible, so that's where they will be kept. So they are not kept in money form. They are kept in what? In security form. If you want to sell them, they will sell them out of your account. If you want to buy more, they buy while crediting your what? Your account. Now, most of the brokers have Access, how you can send them money and be able to transact. But now it's going to be made better. And then maybe Paul will correct us, maybe by Q1 2023, the direct market access should be coming on board. Already we have had certain trainings for MTN, whereby now, because remember, most of the clients that came through the MTN IPO came through the USSD and the Momo Pay and the MTN mobile money app. So you find that they were able to buy shares with their phone and also open up an account. Even right now today, if you want an SCD account, it's very possible on the MTN platform. So USE is partnering with both the telcos, and they're trying to say, you know what, out of your phone directly and then straight into your what? Account. Of course, we shall have sight of all those trades that are coming through, because also as the brokers on the other back end, we shall be able to see whatever client we are going to be able to what? To trade for. But currently, you can contact the individual brokers. They all have mobile money platforms that they can be able to use, as we are still in this testing period for the direct market access. Then now at the palm of your hand, you'll be able to do everything. Yeah.
Thank you, Susan.
Then the last one. The last one, yes. Well, someone who asked about Zoom training. They say that they've been attending our bond trainings. I specifically know the client. We are also going to organize the shares training. It's just that, you know, trainings are always derived out of a place of demand. So people are saying that for the shares we know and we have overtaken risks. Now we want to know these ones of the government. So we have been training more on that space, but also the equities are also going to be trained on. And we shall be communicating, as always, to the clients when it will be happening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susan. A round of applause, a big one, to the panelists who've taken out time. Ladies and gentlemen, these are very busy people. And for them to take out time and come and share what they have with us, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Would like to appreciate all of you who've taken out time to come and attend this. We hope you have learned something. It's not about learning. Let's go and implement. Let's go and touch those people around us. our friends. I know many people keep saying that grassroots woman, people, it is not just the grassroots woman. Even the person seated next to you in office, your friends, some of them don't know these things. So let's start there, okay? Because there will be forums for them, for the grassroots women. I know there's a lot that's happening, but let's start with our oikos where we are. Okay, I want to invite USE. Alison, could you kindly join me? While Alison comes, would like to thank all those who have ensured this happens, the service providers. I've seen Legacy. Thank you so much. Serena, the ones who have hosted us, sponsors, UN Women, Stanbic Holdings, MTN, Cheaper Cash, DFCU, Umeme, and the New Vision Group. Thank you so much. Capital Survey. Susan said she didn't know about it. I am from Capital Survey. However, I'm here, we are a financial advisory and investment management firm. However, I'm here in my capacity because we have an empowering women in business desk. That's where we engage on one of the fronts with USE. And finally, but not least, would like to thank you, USE. A big hand. Is that big? Is that big? Okay, that's big. Can we do bigger? And biggest? Thank you so much for hosting us. Thank you for putting this together to educate us. People, like we said, knowledge is power. Let's go out and look for it. Let's be people on a mission. You heard Jennifer, she's a woman on a mission. You know, she's looking for information. So in our different spaces, let's purpose. Before I get off the podium and hand it over to our hosts, Alison, thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, Damali, despite the ambush. But a round of applause for Damali. I think she has run this program beautifully. I think mine is really to thank you. It's been an action-packed morning. On our part as the exchange, it's been really rewarding, but also humbling to have had this opportunity to spend this morning with you. We don't take it for granted, having given us your time from 8. It's now slightly over midday. We truly appreciate. To our panelists, it's been a very insightful and passionate discussion. I was just thinking, as I came up, or as Susan was speaking, I had a bridal shower scheduled for the weekend. I'm going to reevaluate based on that discussion. But thank you so much. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Jennifer. Kathy in absentia. Thank you, Susan. Those insights have really been insightful, for lack of a better word, and I know the message will impact the ladies in the room. We had an audience of over 70 people online listening in. I'd like to thank them for their time and for participating. And to everyone in the room, I feel there's been great energy. There's been a high level of participation that has really made this activity a successful one, if I may say so. As the exchange, we are part of the Sustainable Exchanges Initiative. We signed in in 2018, and part of what we committed to is to promote the women empowerment principles. And these principles really talk about gender inclusivity. They talk about enhancing the role of women in businesses, enhancing equality within the workspaces, within business spaces, and that is why we're intentional. The CEO talked about World Investor Week. It's about investor education and financial literacy, but as the exchange, we said we must have
a component that specifically targets women entrepreneurs and specifically targets getting out that information to women around investment and how they can take up these opportunities as investors and benefit from them. So on our end, it's to reiterate our commitment to continue implementing and putting the message across that comes through from these principles, and to continue supporting the Women Economic Empowerment Agenda through the exchange and in partnership with the authority, who are our primary market regulators. With that said, I'd like to thank the media in the team, in the House. You are our message ambassadors out there to the wider public, so we do appreciate you covering this event and taking the time to push this message across. With those not very few words, thank you once again, and have a blessed rest of the week. Just one last one, our last activity of the week, we do have a Ring the Bell event that had been alluded to earlier. And what we do, the ringing of the bell is symbolic to really opening the market. The market opens at 9:30, and we have an event at the exchange at Nakawa Business Park, that is Port Bill Road, on the Block A, 4th floor. And we're inviting members of the public, come and see what the exchange looks like. We have an open invitation to share investment advice. The brokers will be there, and this is for free. You'll see the exchange, you'll see what happens in the market. We're talking about the depository where those intangible assets are kept. You'll be able to interact with the team that manages those intangible assets for you and get any information that you want. So you are very welcome, and we look forward to seeing you on Friday. Thank you very much, and I just invite you to the podium where we can take a picture to capture this morning and the discussions that we've had today. Thank you very much. Hello? Yes, the photo is for all of us, so if you can come to the front, just on the podium. It should take less than 5 minutes if we're efficient about it.